What is up, everybody? What's up? Welcome back. We are back in here, back in the building for another one. Got a good one lined up for you today. I've been telling myself I need to stay out of my comment section, but the comments be good. Before I even got the show started, they already coming through. He says those same companies, referring to the companies that canceled or breaking business ties with Kanye West. There's a difference between canceling and there's a difference between rupturing a business deal. One normally begets the other, but that's a whole other story. But he says those same companies stay hush on black crimes and promote sex, drugs, killing through music and artists. If this is the move, they should move with all communities. When you're talking about those companies, staying hush on black crimes, I don't even know if it's their job to worry about that. They're capitalists. It's their job to make a profit. That's most of the decisions they make with profit in mind. Not really worried about that. And Tyreek says, before I roll the intro, Tyreek says, this guy genius? No. I have never said Kanye West was a genius. What I have said about Kanye West is that he's creative. He's musically talented. He's extremely musically talented. He could do no wrong musically. I just found out today one of my favorite songs on the Blueprint that Kanye produced is a Never Change. That was from a David Ruffin song. He found a little small part of a David Ruffin song after David Ruffin left the Temptations, because ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. He found a little clip of that and made a classic. Made one of Jay-Z classics out of a little small part of a David Ruffin song. Like, Kanye West is a beast musically. Never said he's a genius. I think he's kind of crazy. And seeing as he has documented mental issues, I don't think I'm reaching to say he's kind of crazy. But that's my 2-minute pre-show ramble. We about to be getting into that and breaking down exactly how much money is he losing by taking this strong stance that he's taking. He's standing up against the small hats. But some projections say that he may very well be dropping below $1 billion net worth real soon, just from breaking up all these business ties that he got. So we're going to be getting into that. So without further ado, let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What is up? What is going on, good people? Welcome back. Glad to be here. Glad everybody's in the building. Shout out to the early bird squad. Those of you that make it in bright and early before we even get things going. Shout out to Produced by yours truly. I read that one already. Shout out to you. Shout out to Tyreek. He's saying, this is genius. Never said he was genius. Always said he was creative. And it's a big difference between creative and genius. Always made that distinction. I put I preserve the term genius to be for I don't people who are really smart, really smart, and you know, if you figure out the mysteries of the cosmos, Einstein's theory of general relativity, that that's genius. I remember they asked Isaac Newton something about, he explains how an apple falls to the earth and the moon is essentially trying to fall on the earth, but due to inertia and some other stuff, it's like it's missing its spot and just going around, and that's how it goes into orbit. And they were like, okay, well, how do you explain this, that, this, and that? And he was like, oh, good question. And then he went back and came on 2 weeks later and he created calculus to explain it. He literally created calculus, the math that people killing themselves trying to just get a C plus on a test for. He just, at early 20s, he just created it. He had to invent some math that didn't exist in order to explain some orbital stuff going on with planetary motion. Like those are geniuses. Kanye West is just real creative and musically can do no wrong. I'm not gonna call him a genius, but Long Tongue Song in the building says, peace to everybody. Hood Conservative. She says, bro, I was just about to go in on this mess. Hey, hey, we can do some collaborative work on this. No big deal. No big deal. You can I'll get the link in there before you know it. I'll get the link in there before you know it. Sun is Hot Rod in the building. What's up and salute to you. Jackie Jack, what's going on? Says Kanye is freeing himself. Is he really? I mean, okay. That part is a fair discussion. See, it's a such thing as freeing yourself, then there's a such thing as doing bad business. Okay. What were the people that he was in cahoots with business wise? What were they doing to him? Okay. Adidas wasn't doing nothing wrong with him. His company, his shoe, his brand, Yeezys, that's, in cahoots, entangled with Adidas. All right. So he got to maintain that business deal with Adidas. But he sees some stuff that those that we don't speak of are doing to artists and doing to him. And so he spoke out against that. Now that's going to cause him to lose a deal with Adidas. I don't know if he freed him. I don't know if him freeing himself was the right thing, but how many billions are you willing to lose just to call them out? And call them out, and then what? You called them out. Yeah, fist in the air. You called them out. Okay, now what? Are you developing a plan behind the scenes to defeat them? Like, I think that's more where the conversation probably should be. If you got a problem with them, okay, what plan are you developing behind the scenes so you can beat them? I mean, yeah, you got your fist in the air, yeah, but what plan are you developing behind the scenes to beat them? I think that's a much better question or way to look at that. If everything that he's talking about is a problem to the degree that he's saying that it is a problem. But shout out to Prime VA 757. Shout out to Nick Taylor in the building. Says, boy, oh boy, here we go. Oh yeah, we in here. Shout out to RM. Shout out to Uneducated Lame. Shout out to who else we got in here? Darshan Mick Away, aka Demac. Is that Demac the trucker? Is that D-Mac the trucker? Demac the trucker? Okay. Anyway, I don't know. But shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in the building. We're about to go ahead and get this thing going. About to get into this. I'm going to read one more comment before I get into it. He says, there's a book called The Hitman about the music industry that exposes some nasty business dealings. Business dealings like what Ye is talking about. Okay, that's not you. Okay. When you put that D Mac in there, aka D Mac, I was like, okay. Anyway. Yeah. I mean, they some shy. Listen, the term Jumi is a term for a reason. They're shiesty businessmen. They're shiesty in business. But I always say it is a capitalist market. And you sign the deal, you sign the deal. You sign a bad deal, you sign a bad deal. Don't sign a bad deal. But we only could talk about the monster who presented the deal to you for so long. You see, that's sort of where I'm at with it. I'm not saying what they're doing is not happening. I'm not saying that they're not shrewd. I'm not saying that. And there's a lot of stuff that I will do research on because I know there's some people who really go in, and some of it get tinfoil hattish, but some people really go in on that particular group that we don't speak of. And the mere fact that I'm saying that group of people, that those that we don't speak of, sort of leads me to believe that some of the stuff that they say is true. But one thing I do know, they do got a lot of power, pull, influence, got their hands in a lot of pots. And if they don't like you, the fact that the amount of money that they got in this pot or that pot, they could possibly, in many cases, succeed at getting somebody who you're in cahoots business wise to end the deal or end an association. So there's that. Like that's an actual thing. That's an actual thing. So part of it is capitalism, part of it is business, part of it is politics. And in a dirty game of all that, there's winners and there's losers. There's leaders in there. I'm quoting Kanye right here. There's leaders and there's followers, but I'd rather be a dick than a swallower. Yeah, the Jews are dicks. Oops, I should have said that. Now my channel gone. But shouldn't have said that. My channel will be going. My channel will be going to November. That does beg the question, because we speak a lot. Okay, here's the deal. I do look at those that we don't speak of. I do look at those that we don't speak of as if they're they're winning. I remember somebody asked Thomas Sowell the question. Somebody said, no, I think maybe a Jewish person asked Thomas Sowell the question, like, what do we have to do to get what do we have to do to get people to stop having this disdain for us? And Thomas Sowell said, fail. If you fail, they'll stop disliking you. But the fact of the matter is, this game of capitalism, this whole game of westernization, they've won the game. They were the best at the game and they won the game. But they're doing something weird. I kind of want to hear this perspective on this, but I got a whole full clip. I got a whole full clip of a show today. I'm realizing now I'm probably gonna get half of the stuff I got loaded in there, but it's good to have it ready. I just get transitioned over to tomorrow, worse than the worst. But this is what I'm realizing. All right. This is what I'm realizing as I'm about to get into the article that breaks down how much money that he's going to lose. It's better. I mean, they're doing this thing where this group of people who are clearly the winners at this game, this capitalist rat race of this modern westernized 21st century Game of Thrones stuff that's going on in economics and all, and world politics and all. They're clearly winning at the game, but they also play the victim card in a weird way, to where nobody can say anything about nobody speak any ill. It's like it's a weird thing going on. And it's like black people, I criticize us when we play the victim card, the victim narrative so much, because I think it's holding us back. But they're doing something unique where they play that card and they're winning and they're playing the card. It's like it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing that I haven't even fully wrapped my mind around yet. I haven't even fully wrapped my mind around that one, because it's a weird thing that they do. It's a weird thing that they do. But with all of that said, let's go ahead and get into the meat and the potatoes here. Let's go ahead and jump right into the meat and the potatoes here. This was written a little while ago. Well, a few days. Well, no, about a week ago, when all of this stuff was in its early, when all of this stuff was in its infancy. That's when this was written. Where am I at? All right. And all of this was in its infancy. This is when this was written. they were basically talking about how much Kanye is projected to lose if he keeps up doing what he's doing. If he keeps taking a stand for the culture, how much is he willing to lose? Now, real quick before I get into it, it's one thing taking a stand for your people, but really he's taking a stand for artists. Because most of his problems with them, I mean, there are other people that go do deep research and got all kind of problems with those that we don't speak of. It sounds like his biggest issue with them is business related stuff with the higher ups, is business related stuff and the things that they've done to other creatives, music artists. Like that's not really that's not I don't know if that's something that everybody the working Joe black folk need to be like, oh, we got to ride on that. We got to ride on that because they made Usher sign the bad deal. Yeah, But anyway, I do like that he's taking a stand, but let's just see the cost of it though. Let's see the cost of it. Kanye West's fortune estimated to drop well below $1 billion if he decides to end Adidas partnership. Now, I'm going to pull up another article that gives a sort of different story because this one came out earlier. It's from Afrotech. And I don't. So we'll look at this one and we'll look at the other one, and then we'll break it down and we'll talk about it. In 2020, Kanye was marked as the second billionaire in hip hop. The rapper's stake in Yeezy. Keep in mind, this was written September 16th. The rapper's stake in Yeezy, Adidas, because Yeezys, that's who I don't even know exactly how it works. I think you just he take his brand, his name, his brand, and then you find a already existing shoe company that got the infrastructure and ability to mass produce, and you basically just get in cahoots with them, give them a portion of it because they're going to do all the work and all the label, and all you're going to do is just have your name and your face on it, and you probably work with your design team about how you want it to look. Then once you come up with all that, after that, it's all Adidas after that, and Adidas just makes some money. But I'm hoping Ye getting most of the profit. But anyway, the rapper's stake in Yeezy brought him to 1.3 billion, as previously reported by Afrotech. Back then, Forbes was the outlet to confirm West's billionaire status. Now it has been one of the first to report on how his recent actions could jeopardize that same status. Kanye West versus corporate America. That should have been the title of the video. Recently, West has been outspoken on being anti-Gap and Adidas. He took his frustration past verbally when he wrote a letter to Gap declaring that he was ending his partnership with them. The decision was due to numerous factors, including a breach of their agreement, online rants in regards to Adidas. He has gone on full-blown rants claiming the company has wronged him. It's going to cost you billions to keep me. It's going to cost you billions to let me go, West said in a now deleted Instagram post. I actually like that. I like to see black men in positions where, they, even though he may not legitimately be in that position, but if you got power in a situation where it'll cost somebody billions to leave you and billions to keep you, that's where it's at. Shout out to Edward Anderson. He said, "Damn, Bernard, I noticed you grows. Kudos. All the investments are starting to pay off and snowball." Absolutely. I got, those shorts, YouTube shorts. I've been telling people, start making them. Them things getting that algo, they go viral. One of mine went. I'll be talking to y'all about how viral that bad boy went. Probably at the end of the show. I'll be talking to y'all about that. But thanks though. I probably will hit 16,000 subs by the end of today. I probably will hit 16,000 subs by the end of today. I mean, no, I'm sorry, not the end of the day. The end of this show. I'll probably hit 16,000 subs by the end of this show if I ain't there already. Like them subs is growing, like my channel growing to the point to where, like, when I refresh it, when I refresh it, it's just like, damn, more subs. So yeah, so definitely, I'll be talking. I'll be talking some more about that. But no, it's definitely growing. Things are definitely on the up and up. I ain't hit 16,000 yet, but it's closing in on it. It's closing in on it. Let's see. Let me just see real quick. And I shouldn't do this because normally when I announce a sub count, the subs drop down drastically. Not drastically, but I lose a couple subs as soon as I start talking about my sub count because you know how Negroes are. But but when my shit in the algorithm like this, ain't nothing y'all can do to stop me. Ain't nothing y'all can do to stop me. Yeah. Don't spoil it. Well, no, it's already out there. But no, I'm gonna talk about that at the end of the day. Yeah, I got one of my shorts trending towards. I mean, no, it didn't already hit a milli. It didn't already hit a milli, and that's where all the new subs coming from. So if any of the new subs are in the building, shout out to each and every one of you. Shout out to each and every one of you. Do appreciate each and every one of you. But let me get back to it. We'll talk about that a little later. So he goes on to say, like I was saying, I like it. Like it when there's a situation where when a black man is in a situation where he got pull power leverage with a company to where it's like, if y'all want to keep me here to make y'all these millions, y'all gonna have to pay me billions. And if y'all want to get rid of me, it's gonna cost y'all billions to get rid of me. That's leverage and that's power in a situation. Now he's probably feeling his power and his leverage too much to where now he punching up. he punching up at those that we don't speak of, and that's probably coming back to bite him. Now he's probably potentially about to lose some billions. But let's get back into it. Um It goes on to say, potential turn of events, according to Forbes. If West were to move forward with leaving Adidas, he would lose his billionaire status. The outlet estimates that it would knock his fortune to well below $1 billion. So let's keep that in mind. This is when he was just mad at them and was talking about leaving and threatening to leave. I know Kanye, I keep quoting his lyrics. Walking Def Jam building like I'm the shit. Tell them give me 50 million or I'ma quit. Like that's what he doing to Adidas. That's legit what he doing to them. but now keep in mind. Now let's keep in mind this is what they were talking about before Adidas was talking about breaking things up. Before Adidas was talking about breaking things up, Kanye West already had his issues with them. So he was talking about breaking it up and people tapping him and writing articles and saying, yo, you know, you're not going to be a billionaire no more if you do this. You know, you're not going to be a billionaire no more if you do this. And he's just, he's just onward Christian soldier with it to the point to where he ain't even got to leave. Now they leaving him. So if everything that was written here is accurate, then it stands to reason that he's going to lose his billionaire status. He's going to lose his billionaire status. Now, granted, he's taking a stand. So I'm just asking the question. We're gonna dig that out. This was an article that was written hours ago. We're gonna dig that out and figure out if it is worth it. Now, Christian makes a good point. Who knows what he has in securities? That's right. He could be well invested. He could be good. It's very possible that he could be good. It's very possible that he put millions, if not billions, in different stocks and everything. And so, yeah, you never know what somebody is, and that's something that JB point out to me all the time, that you can never really truly trust when they say what somebody is worth. Like, you Google somebody's net worth, you can't really trust that. You can't, because you don't they can't calculate investments. So you don't know what somebody was invested in. One thing that JB said, where I feel like I jokingly said he putting the cape on for Serena, but we were talking about how much more money Serena make more than her husband. But JB, knows a little, he keeps up with investors because he invests in some things. So so he knows that I forgot the guy's name, that he's well invested in, like he invested in a lot of tech startups that are real big today. So basically he was saying this dude probably worth more than Serena, just nobody knows it. So you're right, Christian. We never know exactly how rich Kanye is, because when somebody got that much money, they're invested in so many things, it's hard to really say it. JC the Conqueror in the building says the truth has a price. Yeah, and we trying to get down to the bottom of that price. We're trying to get down to the bottom of that price. So let me blow this one back up. Shout out to Paul Game. Let me blow this one back up. But thank you, JC the Conqueror. Appreciate the $10 super chat. Adidas stands to lose $650 million after dropping Kanye's Yeezy line. Right decision, analyst says. Now, here we go. It's funny how they put this. They say, listen to article in 3 minutes. It's like they know Negroes don't like to read, or people don't like to read, so they make it to where you could just listen to articles. That's kind of I find that kind of funny. I find that kind of funny, but necessary. But anyway, top line, shares of German footwear and apparel giant Adidas slid Tuesday after it disclosed a 9-figure loss after breaking off its relationship with rapper Kanye West following his anti-Semitic tirades and ill-timed public relations nightmare for the firm, whose stock was already failing due to slumping sales. I mean, I'm not going to shed a tear, light a candle for Adidas losing some money, but and I respect Kanye West taking a stand. However, I don't think the small-headed people, those that we don't speak of, got to where they are by making what seemed to be, brash, anyway, making seemingly spontaneous take a stand positions on something. I think they got to where they are at by making very well calculated decisions. Very well calculated decisions. Kanye's decisions are not seeming as calculated. It's not seeming as calculated if he's potentially going to lose billions. Now, if he has a grand master plan how he's going to come out on top here, then I'm good with it. But if he's going to go from being worth $6 billion to just a regular rich celebrity $400 million, then that's he didn't strike at the right time. Put it like that. He didn't strike at the right time. The company disclosed an estimated 2022 loss of up to $247 million just in loss in sales from West's Yeezy line. Yet another brutal revision after the company slashed its 2022 profit margin expectation of 7% to 4% Thursday due to a glut in inventory. I don't know what a glut is. Due to a glut in inventory and a deterioration in China sales for its apparel and footwear as a whole. Bernstein analysis Anisha Sherman told Forbes Adidas confirmed to her it will entirely shut down Yeezy, that accounts for a high single-digit % of all sales, rebranding and products in Adidas, and giving a notable haircut to the company's revenue. So Adidas is losing money. This one isn't dealing with exactly how much is Kanye going to lose here. Adidas said October 6th it placed a partnership with West under review after the rapper wore clothing associated with a white supremacist group at his Yeezy fashion show in Paris, but did not make any public comments on West until Tuesday. Luxury retailer Balenciaga cut ties with West Friday, while his talent agency CAA dropped West Monday. Everything is just dropping like flies. Sherman called it the absolute right decision for Adidas to disassociate with West as public opinion turned against rapper, calling it the right thing to do long term, but nothing. The toll it takes on a company's bottom line in the near term. All right. Big number, 27.5 times more. That's how much more Adidas paid West annually compared to its chief executive, Casper Rorsted. Adidas paid West $220 million per year, according to our estimates, while Rorsted, I should say, brought home about $8 million last year. See, now that's where it gets weird, where Adidas is paying him, but he owned Yeezy, but Yeezy is connected to Adidas, but he became a billionaire due to his stake in that, but they're talking about how much they're paying him. So I guess there's a such thing as a salary, an amount you get paid, then an ownership stake that represents your net worth, and that's how they calculate whether or not you're worth $1 billion or whatever. So yeah, there's that. But just breaking it off altogether would probably, if most of the stake that makes him a billionaire is tied into that, and then if that is broken off, and then yeah, then that's the situation. He wouldn't be a billionaire anymore. He would then lose his billionaire status. And now Hood Service is saying white lives matter equals white supremacy. Well, one could argue that he said white lives matter, and then that made white supremacy strike against him by saying that they that's how full of what's the word I'm looking for? White guilt. They're that full of white guilt that somebody put on a shirt to say that their lives matter, and then they cancel him. No. Don't say that we matter. They said we're not messing with you for saying that we matter. That's no. They're the white guilt, the liberal guilt is all of that is that strong. The white supremacists are attacking the white supremacists are now attacking those that try to advocate for them. That's for those that like to keep score on everything white supremacy is doing or not doing. There it is. There's that. Say it with air quotes. White people. Why we got to put white people in air quotes? No. Oh, okay, I get it. Listen, that's actually a difficult one for me. That's actually a difficult one for me because I've always viewed them as white. I have my whole life. It wasn't until very recently that I was led to believe that, oh, there's something different. I always just viewed them as white. It was a funny joke by Chris Rock where he was basically saying that he was like, look, black people hate white people. We don't got time to make distinctions. Like, no, I'm Jewish. I don't care you're Jewish, cracker. I'm from Rome. I don't care you're Romanian, cracker. It's like they we don't be making distinction. We don't divvy up white folks like that. It's like that's kind of how it is. That is kind of how it is. But y'all hit the like button on the way in. Y'all know what that do. That let people know that y'all are here and in the building. I'm gonna try not to make this show too much about those that we don't speak of, but I've noticed just weird things going on, and I don't want to go tinfoil hat with it because they like with Jackie said they look white to me. Yeah, they do. I don't want to go tinfoil hat on this. All right. I don't want to go tinfoil hat on this, but because I do think of a lot of it comes down to capitalist. It comes down to capitalism, economics, and if you pull in the purse strings behind the scenes and you got your hands in every pot, money in every pot, you got influence in every pot. to the point to where it goes back to what I was saying about that whole victim narrative. How we max out that victim narrative, we max it out. But it's interesting when you see people, the group that's winning the game, maxing it out to the point to where if you look at because okay, when Kanye West was on Pierce Morgan, I was told, I've been calling him Pierre's, but it's Pierce. Okay, fine. When Kanye West was on Pierce Morgan's, you could see what happened there, where Pierce did basically the same thing that he was doing with Andrew Tate, basically trying to slow walk him into an apology. Do you feel sorry about this? Do you want to change your mind about this? Would you say this differently? Do you think differently about this? Would you say this? Well, this is what, and he pulled out some cue cards and was like, oh, y'all can't see. This is what you could say right here. You could say that I was thinking one thing and then I said another thing, and then I'm really sorry about this new thing that I just said, and I wish I hadn't said it. You could say that. Here you go. Here. Just take this and read it and look in the camera and read this. What I'm handing you. That's what Pierce Morgan was doing to Andrew Tate, and I noticed a very similar thing with Kanye West. I noticed a very similar thing with Kanye West. He was basically trying to give him an apology script. And Kanye West didn't apologize, but they put out a video, like the Piers Morgan, the Australian press, the company, whatever. They put out a 1-minute video saying Kanye West apologized for anti-Semitic marks. And I'm like, no, he didn't. Like, if you watch the video, he didn't exactly apologize for what he said. He basically drew an analogy or a parallel saying that, okay, it's wrong that, if 4 black people are in a car and one of them got some crack in their clothes or some carry, and then everybody in the car or around him get locked up for it, that's wrong. So for that reason right there, the people who have done bad things, I'm talking about them. So I apologize for the confusion that I caused for people who ain't for Jewish people who ain't have nothing to do with the people that I got a problem with who are Jewish. That was basically his apology. And then they clipped it and made it seem like, and just so they could say, and just like Piers Morgan was like, wait a minute. So you've apologized then. You've apologized for what you said. And then and then Kanye West was saying, no, I didn't. He's like, no, yes, you have. You've apologized. And then they even clipped that part and just made a separate 1-minute video of that part where he was apologizing, but it was very specific who he was apologizing to. It's like they're hell bent on putting it out there that this person apologized. He apologized, and it's like they're going out their way with it. And so I just been looking at that, and I've been noticing things.
A-Dub from DXLE.
Hold on, I've been looking at that, and I've been noticing things. Like 50 Cent weighed in on it. I want to see if y'all catch this. Let me move this Kanye thing. 50 Cent weighed in on it. Now notice 50 Cent, he didn't say nothing about those that we don't speak of, but listen to how the interviewer sets it up and makes it seem like they're going to try to make it seem like 50 Cent basically said, I forgive Kanye West for what he said about the Jewish community. And he didn't say that, but they tried to make it seem like he said it. Like check it out.
I'm A-Dub from DXLE Podcast, and you gotta check this out. So 50 Cent and Kanye West have crossed paths as fixtures of hip-hop for about 2 decades. As a veteran in the rap game, 50 was asked about Ye's recent antics and anti-Semitic remarks during an appearance on Hot 97 earlier this week. 50 said he forgives Kanye for his attacks on the Jewish media, but warned him he's playing.
Now, you notice they said 50 said he forgives Kanye West for his attacks on the Jewish media. How does that even make any sense that 50 Cent would have to forgive or not forgive somebody else for their attacks on somebody else? Like, how does that make any sense? Get the likes up, y'all. Get the likes up. We're trying to get canceled today. Get the likes up. Yeah, exactly. Long tongue song. Y'all see what I'm saying? Why would he need to forgive? Why would he need to forgive? But the thing is, he didn't. When you watch it, you're going to see.
Playing a dangerous game by making such controversial statements.
I think he's in a dangerous area. You know what I mean? Like not too many. I think, look, I'll forgive him for the things that he said because I'd already identified with something's going on that I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's become his new mannerisms and his behaviors consistently with just.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Hold up. I gotta do something real quick. I can't. Okay, there you go. I couldn't find my headsets. All right, here we go. All right, we're gonna back up a little bit.
Don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? Like not too many. I think, look, I'll forgive him for the things that he said because I'd already identified with something's going on that I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's become his new mannerisms and his behaviors consistently with just doing things like even the White Lives Matter thing. There's nothing for me to say about it though. I watch it take place and I just look and I go, okay, yeah, that's him doing what he does, like what Kanye would do, and a lot of it, even the original Trump support thing, was a little out there for me. You know what I'm saying? But everybody looks at things, they navigate things differently. And one week is I don't want my kids raised by white women, and then the next week is I want to go home.
50 Cent went on to say that he doesn't buy the idea that Kanye West is crazy and believes.
All right. So when you watch that and you listen to what he's talking about, 50 Cent was more than likely saying 50 Cent in other words, I forgive him for what he said about the Jewish community. He didn't say that. This company, it's over. They got over a million subs. They're major. At that point, when you're covering news and you got over 1 million subscribers, you're practically your mainstream news person who your mainstream news person, news entity at that point. What Kanye West was talking about, he was talking about the White Lives Matter stuff. He was talking about the George Floyd comments. He was talking about the initial Trump support. He was talking about all the things that Kanye West has been saying. You're aligning and getting in cahoots in supporting of a lot of stuff that either white people or things that are traditionally supported by white people, but then turn around and get pro-black. And I don't want my kids raised by a white woman. That's what Kanye West is talking about. But all the stuff that most black people would interpret as anti-black, that's what 50 Cent was basically saying. That I forgive Kanye West for that. There's some things going on there that I don't understand, but so I forgive him for that. That's what he was talking about. But why the over the top? Why try to bend over backwards to try to make it seem like he's forgiving him for something he said about another group that don't got nothing to do with 50? Why that's where, like I said, I don't like to get tinfoil hattish, but I'm looking at the company that's producing this video, basically a million, they're basically a major news publication. Let me rewind it so I can see exactly who they are, because I forget the names. Okay.
Hey, what's going on? I'm A-Dub from.
All right, DX News. Type that in. They're pretty damn big. So it ends up a situation where it does look as if they basically put their hands in the pot over there. Like, we got to make sure that the 50 Cent apologizes. 50 Cent uttered the words, anything. Basically they wanted to try to make it to seem as if he apologized, Kanye was so wrong what he said about the Jewish community. It's like they want to make it seem like 50 Cent bent over backwards and said that, but he really didn't. He was talking about something else, and that sort of begs the question that I have, about there's an interesting and weird thing going on where on one end, we got the victim narrative stuff that we do. We got the victim narrative stuff that we do that's kind of unfruitful and unbeneficial because no strings of power is being pulled. Maybe you could argue that, but I don't think they can pull it in a beneficial direction. It's just basically people just looking at us like, the retarded kid in the classroom. Let's pat them on the head and send them on their way. It's like that's more so what it looks like. That's my observation of how it looks and how it plays out. But the people who are at the top of the top and winning the game and got their hands in every pot, got money in every pot, and they do influence how people report things and how people put things out there. I can't deny that at this point. They do got some influence like that. They also playing the victim thing through and through to where nobody can say anything about them. And if anybody says anything about them, we have to not only try to make sure a public apology is made, and we got to make it seem like everybody else, even people who aren't criticizing the person for it, is also making some type of criticism about it. It's a weird game that they're playing. It's a weird game that they're playing right there. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with that. Nick Taylor in the building says, folks forget that are white people. Jewish is a religion, not a man. Come on. That was basically my point. I didn't put it as eloquently, but that's how I see it. That's literally how I have always seen it. I couldn't exactly put my finger on what was what. I couldn't make heads or tails of it, but that is how I always looked at it. That is legitimately how I always looked at this thing. But in my conclusion here, talking about Kanye West, is if it turns out, if the end result of this is that he's no longer a billionaire, I'm going to go as far to say that I'm not saying it's not worth it to take the stand up for something you believe in. I'm just saying those who make it to the top and reign supreme, I don't think they get there by we're going to take a stand for something. No. I think they get there by making calculated moves. And if he loses it all, we got to take a step back and say, this shit wasn't calculated. Just all to it. We got to take a step back and say that this wasn't calculated. If he get to the point to where he's just, a regular $100 million dude, nah. We talk. This was not a well-crafted, well-calculated move. A well-calculated move is to keep doing what you're doing, get your billionaire status up. Jay-Z get deeper and bigger into the billionaire status. Dr. Dre and P. Diddy, if they not billionaires already, I think who knows? If they not billionaires already, they on their way. Get to the once you get to the point to where we talking, hundreds of billions between all of y'all, then we talking about, building certain infrastructure to where, he doing his Yeezys. He ain't got to deal with Adidas. He don't got to deal going with Adidas to mass produce his stuff. They got their own infrastructure and facilities built to mass produce this stuff. Like that. That's when you get in that place, then no hands are in the pot to where you gotta yield to or answer to anybody, or got to worry about if you say this about this particular group, then what's going to happen to your business connection with this other particular group, where people from that other group that you just offended got their hands in that pot. Like, so it wasn't, in my estimation, a well-calculated move. Wasn't, in my estimation, a well-calculated move, but we'll definitely see how it turns out. Now, we will circle back to this. But like I said, I got a full clip of a show for y'all today. We will circle back to this, but I'm about to switch gears on some stuff, and I'm divided whether or not I want to switch gears, because I do want to get Hood Assertive. Are you there in the chat? Are you there? If you're there in the chat, I'll bring you up and we'll riff on this for a little bit before I move on. Let me know if you're there in the chat. But either way, shout out to AM1 says the Kanye thing is a setup. It's all about symbolism. If this black celebrity billionaire can be canceled and shut down like this, then anyone can. Well, we know anyone can be canceled and shut down. We know that anyone can be canceled and shut down. So I don't think it's about that, because he don't get canceled and shut down if he don't start saying the things that he's saying. So, and I'm not knocking him stepping up and saying the things that he's saying, but all the thing that I'm saying is the stuff that he's saying, or is him doing it while he's doing it? Was it a well calculated move, or was it just a sporadic, random, mind of Kanye, stream of consciousness just coming out scattershot against the wall? If it was just that, then I don't support it. I like calculated power moves. I like to see a calculated power move, not just somebody who just randomly scattershot in an uncalculated way. Because if he literally lose every endorsement, and this man who was worth $6 billion, who was, well, based off my research, Robert Smith was still a little bit richer than him, but I could be wrong on that. But either the richest or second richest Black American man on earth is now going to be worth a few $100 million after all this said and done, then wasn't a good move. Wasn't a good move. I've been quoting a lot of rap lyrics. Jay-Z said, I can't help the poor if I'm one of them. It's like, and you in the door, get all the way in. Like shit. But anyway, we'll transition and we'll segue because it was a few things that happened in and around Black YouTube. We'll circle back to this, but I gotta have some fun with this one. I gotta have some fun with this one. I do gotta have some fun with this one. I caught wind of the fact. Y'all gotta forgive me here. Y'all gotta forgive me here because I saw what I assess to be the funniest shit on earth.
Please, may I have 60 seconds?
I got to share this with y'all. Y'all got to forgive me. This guy came up on Courtney Michelle's panel and dropped and gave her 20 push-ups or 10, or I don't know. Yeah, see Game Changer up there. So if Game Changer up there, you know it was some shit. You know it was some shit. We got to transition into some. We got to transition. We'll come back to the main topic. But I gotta share this while it's fresh. They was up there. They was talking. Game Changer was doing a lot of his normal spiel. They talking about Black men, doing this or that, doesn't so for the community. And Game Changer made some real good points. He said something like, he wants I'm about to botch the quote. But long story short, he was basically saying Courtney Michelle wants Black men, or she wants Black women to improve themselves, but Black men to also lower their standard. Game Changer is saying that he wants Black women to improve themselves, but Black men to also raise their standard, or something like that, something of the sorts like that. But anyway, it was a good back and forth and a good exchange. It was a good exchange. But anyway, so after I think this guy's name is Leonard. He took the link on my show before. I recognize the name in the face. I've talked to him before. He came up there to address Game Changer, but anyway, I'm just gonna play it.
Please, may I have 60 seconds?
Okay,
that's
darling.
all. I won't ask you of anything else.
Okay.
He begged her, please, can I get 60 seconds to do this?
Got to respond to Game Changer. Game Changer, you talk about fat and this and that. Okay, what you need to do first, you need to turn your camera on. Then you need to get in this position and start doing some of this. You got every.
Look at Courtney Michelle. Mrs. Frankenstein don't like the monsters that she's creating. He's making it seem like he's making a point to Game Changer, but no, that's all for Courtney. That was all for Courtney. He got to show her that I can do push-ups.
And this and that. Okay, what you need to do first, you need to turn your camera on. Then you need to get in this position and start doing some of this. Start doing some of this. You got everything to say about fitness. Start doing some of this. Show the people something. I'm showing receipts, and I'm 60 years old. This is a 60-year-old man y'all looking at right
I'm 60, but I still got it, Courtney. I'm doing push-ups for the 60-year-old push-ups for the community.
now. 60-year-old man. Come on, Game Changer. You want to get some? You want to get some? You want to get some?
Okay.
She's trying to stop. It's funny when a guy is doing something like it's like an act or show of, and the woman is telling him to get up. It's like, stop, just get up. It's like a dude on his knee proposing, and the chick is like, "What are you doing? Just stop it. Just get up. Get up. You're embarrassing both of us." That's she's like, "Will you get up?" You're embarrassing both of us. Just get up. No, Nate, I ain't steal your stream because I'm only covering the push-ups. You probably covered the whole conversation. I'm only covering the push-ups. He said Leonard has caught neurodenitis. Oh man. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that.
Okay, this ain't what this is gonna be.
It already is.
But up now.
Oh man, y'all looking at right now. 60-year-old man. Come on, Game Changer. You want to get some? You want to get some? You want to get some?
Okay, but this ain't what this is gonna be. Get your butt up now.
I'm just saying. I'm 60 years old. I know he's a way young man. Come get some, young buck.
All right, Dub Will, sweetheart, I've been.
Oh my goodness. JC, what are you talking about? I wish niggas in the Manosphere would stop doing panels with women. This is Courtney Michelle's channel. Game Changer went on her panel, and Leonard is, I don't know what you would even qualify him as Manosphere. Most of what he says is critical of the Manosphere. I don't know. So I don't know what you're talking about. Don't scattershot everything into Manosphere just to criticize the Manosphere. I know there's a lot of people that do that. Don't do that. The Manosphere person, the only Manosphere person in this video was Game Changer, the one in the upper left corner, who was making sense. He was the only one making sense in this video. Yeah. So you're talking, okay. You're talking about the one who's making sense, not the one who dropped and gave her 20. Like, that's weird. Game Changer came on her panel. This is her show, by the way. She just moved herself to the middle and Game Changer to the far left. Game Changer went up there and made sense. Other dudes went up there, pandered and simped and did push-ups. So I don't know how Game Changer catches the criticism. I don't. But anyway, that's I had to share that with y'all. But another thing adjacent to this. Oh, and by the way, yeah, that's just Everybody Hates Pickings. That's the same font and style of the Everybody Hates Chris logo for the TV show. Mike and Vince Perkins in the building says J Speed plus push-ups equals Leonard. No, J Speed I never seen J Speed jump on a panel full of women and do push-ups, but I wouldn't put it past him. I've never seen J Speed do that, but I would not put it past him. Let's just make that very clear. J Speed has actually sent me I'm sorry, I'm trying to get comfy. J Speed has actually sent me videos because there was a discussion about his age came up. So he was like, "You could show this on your channel. Look at me, I'm in shape. Look at me hit a picture of him hitting the punching bag." He's like, I'm in more shape than a lot of you young, you know. He said he could still dunk a basketball. He said he was gonna send me video of that. Not yet to happen. Not yet to happen. But an observation. Perry in the building with a $10 super chat. Shout out to Perry. Do appreciate you. I mean, not super chat. Cash app. Shout out to Mike and Vince Perkins with the $5 super chat. Shout out to Perry with the $10 cash app. Shout out to Perry with the $10 cash app. Not yet, patriarchy. Not yet. He says drop the link. Man, I got a lot of shit on the table to talk about that I may not even get to. I may just have to shelve a lot of the things that I wanted to get to. But this is kind of predicated on the discussion that me and you had, though. Me doing this everybody hates pick-me's. It's kind of predicated on that because, and I kind of made these points, and I've made these points before, but I'll try to flesh them out a little more. Deanie, what you talking about? GC went white girl victimhood to keep it 100. Cut it out. Your chat is mean to. Oh, okay. I didn't watch that part. If he said your chat is mean to me, then yeah, that sound a little off-putting. I'll say. If he was like your chat is mean to me, yeah, I don't think he said it like that. I don't think that was the context. But if he did do that, okay, fine. All right. Here's the deal. Everybody hates pick-me's. All right. That's something that I have observed. This is predicated on and yes, Jackie, you are that whole logo that I made right there. That was inspired by you. You were the one that was saying everybody hates pick-me's. So and I didn't watch it, but somebody else watched it. The breakdown of woman's perspective did a show called Why Are All the Pick-me's Unmarried or something like that. And even a lot of the men came up. They were, the women are very critical of the pick-me's, but even a lot of men came up on the panel and they were very critical of the pick-me's. And then you look at especially the discussion me and Patriarchy Strikes Back had, where he came in. He said it's like some I forgot what he called it, some BDSM cosplay or something like that, to some degree. And I understand exactly where he's coming from. I just want to first formally say, I initially was I was initially holding the line on this shit when it was early on. When the only women that was in this space or around the space, I mean, okay, it was Crimson Cure before she became Crimson Cure. She was actually going by her pretty much her government name, damn near. But and she was doing this for a while, long before me. It was, no signs of blowing up in sight. She was just pushing a snowball uphill, until something finally shook and she blew up, after like 7 years. So, so there's that. The breakdown of woman perspective blew up, and they weren't really pick-me's. They came to this space that's kind of like offering, a woman's perspective, pun intended, but not really. But they were offering a woman's perspective on the subject that we talk about. And they were giving a lot of pushback and a lot of arguing. And when their channel first started out, the novelty of their channel is that they would say a lot of things that their mostly male audience disagreed with. And then the mostly male audience would come up and argue and debate with them. And then some women hopped on the panel and debated with them. And it was a nice little debate show. I liked it. I did. I genuinely liked it. I didn't participate, but I would check out a good discussion in the clouds here and there. I've been on there maybe once or twice, maybe twice. It's long old in the archives. It was long old in the archives. I haven't been over there in a long time. But see, here's the deal. But I remember when Jessica X first popped on the scene, and I was one of the ones I started pointing out because I started seeing what was coming. Now, I wasn't no hater, but I was one of the ones on the front line saying that if the Black Manosphere is not a organization, not a company. It ain't nothing that you got to get inducted into or pay some dues, and now you're under this tent and you're a part of, you have membership. Now, no. The Black Manosphere is an algorithm. Algorithms are open and free and can, anybody can get in because it's an algorithm. But I did say to myself, if we get to a point to where we have more Black female content creators producing content in the Black Manosphere algorithm, do we really have a Black Manosphere? I was saying that back then. And I said that in a discussion where I was very critical of the whole, dudes, hopping on board with Jessica X, but I pulled back because I didn't want to be a hater. So I just watched her grow. And then once she got to the point to where her channel was bigger than mine, I was like, all right, come on over for a one-on-one. Is what it is. The market has chosen. That's where I was at with it. I didn't send all those people over to sub to her. I didn't send 40,000 people over to sub to Chantel Simone. 1,000 people over there to sub to freaking Pink Book Lessons. I didn't do that. I didn't, that's not me. So, that's more or less where I was at with it. That's more or less where I was at with that. Hold on, yeah, I'm trying to. Give me a second. But that's where I'm at with it, and that's where I'm at it, and that's I can't even talk now. Hold on, gotta get some drink in me. But keep in mind, that was when the Manosphere was more localized. We're talking 2020, before the ideas and before Kevin Samuels blew up, before the ideas and concepts in the Black Manosphere went mainstream. Before it went mainstream, that was when, the type of content we did was localized. It was centered around, it was centered around a certain perspective that you couldn't hear everywhere. So people, came here for it. Once it got to the point to where Kevin Samuels blew up, the cat was out the bag, and now everybody was hearing this stuff. You was hearing Manosphere stuff everywhere. It was all, you was hearing it on the news. You was hearing it in all kind of other spaces. He was making it into, like, even the simp, the Ace Metaphor got on. I'll be having Mr. Let Go on there talking Manosphere stuff when they show that they do with the women. It's all into the pro-Black sector. It's everywhere, and now it's to the point to where anybody, a male or female, who ain't even connected to this space, could literally sit there and create a channel and tag it in a certain way and get into the algorithm, and then they stuff popping up on all of our stuff, and then everybody watching it, and it just came and it got to the point to where it's not even a core Manosphere audience watching this stuff. It's literally a full-blown open market. It's Manosphere-ish or Manosphere adjacent channels that are not in the fishbowl, but they out in the ocean growing like crazy. Just growing like crazy. So it just became just some wild open market capitalism in an open algorithm that nobody can control or manage or say we don't like this person, so let's not support that. Let's not support this. No, like I said, I got a channel. I mean, I got a video, and am I getting canceled? Because my shit just went from 250 to 217. Last time I saw it drop that fast, I was knocked off the air. Last time I saw it happen that fast, I was booted off the air. All right, just double checking. But see, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Deanie, don't play like that. Well, okay, if I was dropped, you wouldn't be able to say I was dropped. If I was dropped, you wouldn't be able to say I was dropped. But all right, getting back into it. I got scared though. I went from like 250 to now 210. That was That was even JC the Conqueror. Don't overthink the term. That's a play on the Chris Rock show. Everybody hates Chris. What I'm saying, everybody hates pygmies. I include myself in that, but using hate as sort of a euphemism, playing on the show. I include myself in that, and I've always broke down there's a difference between a real life pick me. There's a difference between a real life chick who is just all about her man, just completely 100% on board with him, follow his lead, generally do what he say when he say it, you're just very agreeable and pleasant. I know that personally. Trust me when I say I know that personally. There's a such thing as a woman like that in real life. There's a such thing as women who actually heard Kevin Samuels' message and understood where he was coming from and supported his message, and generally supported his message. There are also those that danced on his grave, but then there are some who genuinely supported his message. I've had women like that. They didn't ask me for nothing. They didn't start a channel. They didn't try to come up. They didn't try to do anything in particular. No, they just literally basically just, they see my channel, they support, they send a super chat, a cash app, become a Patreon, and don't say nothing, just mostly in the clouds. They enjoy the content. They support the message. There's some like that. Then there's the ones that start channels. And then it is a legitimate criticism. That somebody could ask, is this truly genuinely some feminine woman who advocates for men, who a genuine and feminine woman that advocates for men, or is this an industrious businesswoman who sees a business model laid out by men, but then just going to put a little pizzazz on it, put titties on it? That's a fair, legitimate point. That's a fair, legitimate point, and that is a fair, legitimate criticism why somebody has a legitimate critique of the YouTube feminine content creator that has an audience of 80 to 90% men. That's that's a legitimate concern. Like, nobody is wrong for having for pointing that out, that it's probably fake. Now what I say is, it's an open algorithm, an open market, and you can't control the market. If there's an overwhelming percentage of men who 200,000 strong want to hear a female talk about these topics, then it is what it is. That's the market. I can't control that. And so I agree with Ed when he's saying people get blamed for the algorithm, as if we control the algorithm. There was a time when all of the stuff we talk about was so packed in and tight knit and everything, to where, it was a time when we could control who was in and who was out. But now that this algorithm and these talking points and everything is going super mainstream, it's all over, there's no control. There's no borders with this shit. It's everywhere. So that's why it gets to the point of yeah, the way to put it quite simple. We are not responsible for every bitch that comes on YouTube. But some people like to blame the space for it, because chicks are doing Manosphere type of content. Many of them, they may have some connection to the core of the Manosphere algorithm, but they out in a whole nother lake with they shit. They out in a whole nother lake with they shit. JC says, no, I think the audience has an issue with men going on women's panels. I don't see that many, okay, the Manosphere content creators, they have their channels and they open it up, and mostly men come up, and every now and then a woman come up, and every now and then, if there's a female, like Game Changer had a basically damn near a one-on-one discussion with Courtney Michelle. If you got a problem with that, then all right, cool, no big deal. I mean, you welcome to have a problem with that, but overall, it depends on what you're talking. If you're talking about the damn Pineapple Show going on there to get rejected, then yeah, that's an issue. If you're talking about Courtney Michelle having a discussion and somebody joining the discussion, I don't see nothing wrong with that. So there's that. Now, if somebody who wasn't Manosphere get up there and do some push-ups, then that's stupid. If somebody like Game Changer get up there and make sense in a discussion with her and George Macon, and I don't know if Obie Allen was there that day. So if somebody like Game Changer get up there and make sense, I don't see nothing wrong with that. So that's where I think y'all can get in some goofy stuff where y'all just finding a wedge issue to charge other men up with something like that. That's just bending over backwards. We about to criticize these dudes. Wow, you know, that's where it get weird. But JC in the building says, I don't have issue. I'm indifferent. Just seeing what the men be saying in the chat. He says, just seeing what the men be saying in the chat. Yeah, okay. Okay. Deanie in the building with the $5 super chat. I do appreciate you. Shout out to Ed. I did see your comment. I was riffing, so I didn't really respond to it. But you were saying there's certain people I may pass in subs. Yeah. My shit keep growing like it's growing. Yeah, it might be getting there. Doing those shorts that work, and you do those shorts. Yeah, you getting that algorithm. A lot of chicks and a lot of dudes who not connected to the space. Hell, the daily wrap up crew. I saw probably like 100 of their shorts before I ever even went to their channel and actually, looked at their actual non-short content. So yeah, it's men adjacent to the space who could blow up in the space like that. It's men adjacent to the space that could blow up to the space like that. But my thing is like this: the Manosphere talking points, or even the concept of the Manosphere. It's an open, wide, broad thing at this point, and it's a cat that it was inevitable. If the Manosphere was successful, it was inevitable that the cat would get out of the bag. It was inevitable that these talking points would be in the minds of everybody else, and it was inevitable that everybody else, whether they're connected to people in the Manosphere or not, would start using these talking points and tagging videos in this way and doing things in this way. And major publications will be making articles and in major mainstream media things like hell. Jason Whitlock just got done talking about how Killer Mike got red pilled. Like for real, Jason Whitlock literally just got done talking about how Killer Mike got red pilled over this article right here. Well, I don't got the article up, but some imagery up of Killer Mike in the Huffington Post. And it said, opinion, this rapper is more politically dangerous than Kanye West. It said, this rapper is more politically dangerous than Kanye West. And they took all kind of jabs at him. Why? Because he committed the crime of saying that that Kemp, the guy running against Stacey Abrams, he committed the crime of saying that he was running an effective campaign. And that made them get in full cancel culture mode and go back and try to pull up all kinds of other they tried to go back and pull up when he was talking to freaking when he met with him in 2018. They saying, what he's doing is a bridge too far because he's presenting himself as somebody who's concerned for the people, and people believe that he's concerned for the people. We know Kanye West don't care about black people, pun intended. We know Kanye West don't care about black people, but he's presenting himself as somebody who cares about black people. But he's smoozing with the enemy, all because he said Kemp ran an effective campaign. Like they really did that. And I started to not even use this picture because that is a badly built man. That is a badly built man. He looked like melted ice cream. Like, I shouldn't have used that picture. I shouldn't have used it. I'm sitting here making a serious point, and y'all just looking at this man's physique. Citizen look like he built like Stacey Abrams. But to wrap up the point that I was making before I go back to him, to wrap up the point I was making about the pygmies is it's on content creators to create their channels, grow their channels in every way that they can. And it's on you, the audience member, to decide what and who you will support. And that's just all to it. And now when I say support, I'm not even talking about monetary. I'm just talking about who you're watching, who you liking, who you sub to, who you control what you watch. You can't control what other people watch. When I look at a lot of these chicks' channels, I watch the chat, I see who's super chatting. I don't even recognize them dudes. Most of the people over there, I don't even see them in my chat. It's like a whole nother world, a whole nother algorithm out there. So basically complaining about it, to me, it just at some point it just amounts to hating. There are fair critiques. Don't get it twisted. There are fair critiques. They are industrious business women following a business model laid out by men, and they just sprinkle in a little pizzazz and some titties on it. And then, yeah, that's happening. That's happening. There's something to critique there. But at the end of the day, if the market is buying what they're selling, I have no control over that. You have no control over that. Nobody has control over that. It just is what it is. That was my final take on that. But anyway, back to Killer Mike. I'm thinking about sprinkling titties on something. Yeah, they're using full cancel culture tactics on him. They're using full cancel culture tactics. He said one kind word, not even a kind word. He simply said he's running an effective campaign because he talked to King Randu, and he did a number of things reaching out to conservative black men. He did a number of things reaching out to conservative black men, and he's like, oh yeah, Kemp is definitely running an effective campaign. Definitely running an effective campaign. And that was a bridge too far. He's waking up. This is the second rapper. He's waking up to what Ice Cube was woken up to. All right. He's waking up to what Ice Cube was woken up to. And this is a Bernie supporter. He was heavy in the tank for Bernie. And by the way, I don't got it ready to pull up, but it was a study that shows that blacks favor socialism more than any other group. Bernie was basically a card carrying socialist. So, in this man here, he supports Bernie, which means he supports socialism, and he was with that. But even with him being a socialist, he could see the writing on the wall, what's going on politically with black men and black women. And I know he's starting to notice what's going on with this Democratic Party and its relationship with black men, how they cater and pander and do whatever they got to do to get black women on board, and their assumption and belief that black men are just going to blindly follow and vote behind black women, like black men are boys and black women are mama. He's noticing that now. And this going back to my previous point, Jason Whitlock was like, how my previous point about how the red pill is everywhere, Manosphere talking points is everywhere. Jason Whitlock literally said Killer Mike is being red pilled. Once you hear something like that, you already know what's up. And speaking of the left, the Social Security Administration they're doing something weird here. I want to make sure I get this right. I want to read this and get this right. Social Security Administration is now permitting people to change their gender identity. Speaking of the left and the shit that they do, so Social Security Administration is now permitting people to change their gender identity. The new policy immediately went into effect Wednesday. Applicants can now change their gender identity without providing any documentation. You can change your gender. Oh, y'all couldn't even see me. I was all like that. You can change your gender identity without providing any documentation. So we're getting closer. We're getting closer towards this right here. That's a man. That was a man. I'm not even tripping about this changing your gender identity stuff that's going on, because we're getting closer and closer to Zaya Wade dunking on them chicks in the WNBA. I'm waiting for that day, but we'll settle for this. That girl who just got super spike volleyballed, that was a video game for Nintendo. That girl who just got super spike volleyballed in the face, she's suffered some longer last, like that just wasn't just a sting. Like she has some serious injuries. She has some serious injuries from that, like some neck injuries and all kind of stuff. They canceled competition, and they didn't want to say why, but they canceled competition going forward. Like they're not like all the schools. I don't know if all the schools shut it down or if just this school. But for fear of safety in competition, they shut down all future games for fear of safety. They couldn't formally say we're shutting it down because there's a man competing. This is, I believe this is high school. I don't think this is college. They can't shut it down because there's some there's a biological male competing out here injuring chicks. They couldn't formally say that, but they did shut it down. They did shut that thing down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I'm looking at it from this perspective. Like I said, Social Security Administration, that's the government. That's the government, high up as it go, are in on this from the perspective that yes. The new policy immediately went into effect Wednesday. Applicants can now change their gender identity without providing any documentation. Basically, they're making it easier for you to formally, on record, on government legally binding documents, so to speak, change your gender. They're making it all easy, which makes it less likely that when somebody shows up for volleyball tryouts with testicles, in my mind, that makes it it makes it to where they're less likely to be able to just say no, you can't play. Why? You have nuts. I'm a girl though. But I'm a girl. And then, if the government is in on it, they can't tell him he's not a girl, which means he gets to play, which means he gets to do this. Yeah. I know that just makes little Big Nate smile. No. I know that just put a big smile on little Big Nate's face. Now, the last thing that I'll get into, I had a number of things in the chamber ready to go. There was a number of things. What else did I have here? I'm gonna cut some of it short because I do want to open it up. I want to get y'all perspective on some of these topics, but I do have to do this one. This next story that I got to get to. This next story that I got to get to is definitely an interesting one. An interesting one because there was a situation where a woman had a baby. She did not know which of the men were the dad. So she essentially never made a decision. She just let them both believe it. Neither of them was with her or lived with her. So she just kept them separate. All the way up until the kid was 5 years old. The kid is fully talking and going with both dads. Both dads were periodically coming to pick the child up. And she just told that she told the kid, don't say anything. She literally told the kid not to say anything. And the kid didn't say anything. And so the kid just kept going with both the dads. She was going to ride that out until graduation. All the parents in attendance stand up? The parents. It's like she was going to ride that thing out to graduation. She just got caught. And she got caught at the daycare. This is a daycare attendant speaking on the issue, not attendant, but the daycare worker, owner, operator, who I don't know, the employee. I don't know who it is, but this is the daycare person speaking on it. Let's go.
But you won't believe what happened. I was like, what? I was like, because I'm trying to figure out, we all trying to figure out up here, like, what's the deal with the two daddies? She said, girl, I have a relationship with all, my parents. So, that's just how we do. She was like, girl, I had the baby, 5 years ago, and I didn't know. So they never ran up on each other. So I was trying to, one day say I'm a tell, but I just never got around to it. And we just ended up here. I just was good about saying who was going where and whatever. And then she just never told. Baby girl never told. And I was like, so you did this for 5 years and the baby never said nothing? She said, I just, told her not to say anything, and she didn't. So, y'all, guess how they find out? Guess how all this popped off? So, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to just make it short what mom said to try to keep it all in one video. But mom said her best friend, her best friend fell out. They had an argument. Y'all, the best friend set her up. The best friend called the daddies and told him, she was getting a girl for the weekend, but she was at the doctor's appointment and it needed them to go pick her up. She told both of them this separately. She needed them to go pick the little girl up and bring them to her. Told them what time to be at the school and everything, y'all. The best friend set it up so the mama could have been found out about because they fell out. That is some mess. I was blown away. But let me tell y'all something. I'm done with this story because it's getting real messy. I'm done with this one.
Yeah. Yeah. So that happened. So that happened. I when I look at stuff like that, I'm looking at it from the perspective that okay, and keep in mind it was a girl. It's like I'm just like, how long was it supposed to last? She's gonna get gave away for marriage, but both of them was gonna show up at the wedding. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. Any of the previous topics that anybody want to come up and give your perspective on. Come up and give your perspective on what he's saying. That's sad. The poor man and child. Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. Like that's the worst as it gets. That's low as it gets. That's low as it gets. Like some things even defy commentary sometimes. Some things even defy commentary because it's like in that situation, what you normally see, is a woman makes a decision on which one is going to be the dad. Keep in mind, when I say she makes a decision on which one is going to be the dad, she's not taking the time to figure out which one is actually the dad. She just makes a decision on which one does she want to be the dad. Because I remember somebody posted something on Instagram before, and it said something along the lines of, the doctor changed my due date, and by doing that, he changed my whole baby daddy. Because she was pregnant. And so when she got a different due date, it was like, oh shit. Based off this due date, that means I have me and the current presumed to be baby dad, we wouldn't even together around that time. So you had to go back a little further to dig up the baby to get the baby, figure out who the baby daddy was or whatnot. So there's that. There's that. I actually saw an Instagram post that read something along the lines of, oh my goodness, Little Big Nate, you're gonna hate this one too. It read something along the lines of, this is my abortion baby's B-day. I might throw something on the grill. I don't know. We'll see. Like she's like gathering people, like we gonna have a birthday party for the aborted baby. Like it be some weird stuff going on. But Sir Tyson the Builder says, my Little Big Nate voice, I love watching the left implode on itself. Huffington Post, To Kill a Mike, and AOC had some Latinos protesting her. They will always eat themselves alive. Absolutely. I totally agree. I totally agree. But we got the first contestant of the prices right here, Nick Taylor, in the building. What's going on?
What's going up, Big B?
What's happening? What's happening? What you got?
You got the best hand, man. I noticed your shorts come popping up. I guess you didn't hit the algorithm just right because they were. I got like 5 or 6 of them in a day.
Oh yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, my shorts out in the algorithm. Like my live stream show is still in the hood, but my shorts is out in the suburbs somewhere. Like they doing good. But
well, my shorts must go straight to Boom Quee's house because them heifers be coming with that bull.
Oh man,
I'm telling you, what you mean? You know, oh boy, bro, I'm serious, man. I don't know, but my lives and my videos, it's my core group, but my shorts is white people and Boom Quee and Dejanay and them. You know who and them is, you know, because you know I tell people when you say and them, that's when your mom asks you, your mom or dad, where you going? Or I'm going to the store with Ray, Kevin, and them. You ain't got to say the whole thing, because they know who and them is. They know who your friends are, bruh. Kanye, I think we being played, but I can't prove it.
Okay, explain.
I think he made the comment that he did. I'm not saying that I don't think he don't believe what he said. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm getting at is I think he done it to, how can I say this? He knew he was going to get the reaction. He knew he was going to get the reaction that he did. It's just that he I'll turn my volume up. I put my headset on.
Oh no, you sound good. You sound good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I didn't even have the well, you know, this electro voice, that noise canceling stuff. But I think if he's smart, well, I think he should be making another move. See, here's the thing. Think about it like this. Let's go to basic terms that anybody from any economic level can understand. Oh, and I sent you an email about it's just a meme when you was talking about the volleyball. It's about chicks boxing yeah, you know, and it hit her. Yeah, it sure did. But it's a difference between you leaving and being kicked out. I mean, think about it. You know, you leave, all right, you at your mom and dad's house. So I say, I'm gonna talk at a level that anybody can understand. I'm leaving, I'm getting out of here, I'm not coming back. I don't like the way y'all treating me, blah, 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 right? And you leave. Okay, it don't go right, right? Or something happens, then you got to come back. Asking mom and dad, can you come back, right? It's different if mom and dad put you out. Right. Because then you have no allegiance to them whatsoever. So I think it's like he wanted to leave, but he couldn't just leave. I got to do something to where they kick me out. So everything I do after this, I can justify it. I could be possibly right. I mean, I like to go back and look in my archives from 6, 7, 8 years.
Okay. What was his that article I read kind of late that I was going to say, what was his reason for wanting to leave?
Well, the article is written by who?
Answer me. I mean,
no,
tell me.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, people look at stuff people say that you said that they put up here, and they're not even actual news things, and you be like, Bernard didn't say that. That's not what he said. That's not what Bernard implied. You know what I mean, or whatever the hell. So the further up you go up the ladder, it even gets even more intense. So I look at, okay, Bernard, would you rather be $1 million slave or a $500,000 free man?
You mean $1 billion slave or a $500,000?
I mean, no, I'm talking us. I mean, would you rather be a slave for me or anybody for $1 million a year, or would you rather have $500,000 on your own accord to do with as you wish, but you're free?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. And now the digital world has changed the game of music from when I first came into the into the gig where we had pay for studio time. You had to get this and they had to get that. And then I had to accept this to play 4 bass tracks on this song. It's a long story. But all that stuff, that was 30 years ago. You know, now, dude, you can start a label online. You can make
okay, hold on. His music is not really that's pennies compared to what he's
correct.
He's getting off Yeezy or what, I mean, for his Yeezy brand or whatever.
Correct.
But, see, here's my thing. I guess what I would want to know is, in what way was he a slave? Not just, okay. Put it like this. This is how I understand it. I understand it as it's his company, but he's connected to and affiliated with them. But I don't see how he's losing. If he's losing money with them and he doesn't have control, but he can make more money if he wasn't with them and he had control, then I understand. I don't see where he's lacking control. Like, put it like this. I would view him as somebody being a slave if we were to find out that Adidas got billions of dollars richer and Kanye West made $100 million off of his Yeezy deal. Then that's him signing a bad deal. But if he signed a deal, or if he signed them, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, it's hard to really measure who's really at the head. But I mean, but if he became a billionaire off of it, I don't know for sure if he's slave. Like that could be our assumption that he's, that they got him.
Slave may not be the proper word.
No. But I understand. Yeah. I mean, I think you mean it to just say he's in the lesser position. He's in the weaker position with them. I think that's more or less.
Well, you know how you can tell he's in the weaker position?
Go ahead.
Because they got rid of him. They severed ties with him. He didn't sever ties with them. Yeah. I mean, Adidas made the we are no longer dealing with Kanye. Then Def Jam come out. We are no longer because Def Jam wasn't signed to Kanye. Kanye was signed to Def Jam. So you see what I'm saying? So how can you, I mean, because if I'm the boss, okay, like my company here, my little old hole in the wall company, I own TNT. You can't fire me. There's nobody over me. You see, but if I had a partner and I'm 49% and Bernard BR Holdings is 51%, even though I'm the second largest shareholder, I am second. I am not first. You're first.
Yeah, but somebody could be 40% and they still can just cut ties and pull from the deal, and them pulling their 40% could tank everything else.
Correct. So. Yeah, I have seen that, but it's not the norm. Because when AM General and Hummer's leaving General Motors, did it tank General Motors? Nope. They just kept right on going. But all right, Plymouth is done with the Barack Obama cash for clunkers deal. He shot my family in the butt with Plymouth. Did Chrysler keep going? Yep. Did they have to diversify? Yes, but Chrysler is still a thing. Now, now with the but yeah, I tell people, look at who the CEO of Def Jam is. Look who the president of Def Jam is, and look who the president of the CEO of Adidas is. Because I live in Germany. That's the way you say it in Europe. Adidas. In America's the only place to say is Adidas. I didn't realize that until I was stationed overseas. But Tunji Balagoon dude, that's the president of Def Jam, because he took over from Jeff Harleston earlier this year. Jeff Harleston just stepped down, and Jeff Harleston came in for who? Paul Rosenberg. Paul Rosenberg, who's still on, he's still on Def Jam's payroll, even though he's not the president anymore. Yeah, so you're talking about people, they might, he done himself a favor. You but how many stories have you seen, whether we interact or not, about guys trying to get out of toxic record deals with Def Jam or with this label or with this label? We hear about it all the time. Well, it's easy for him to, well, how about I just say something crazy? I'm a big enough artist where it will garner worldwide attention. Even though I couldn't name you one album he got, and I couldn't hum one song because it's not my genre. It's not my Asian genre of music. So I want to get out. So how about I do something that's so over the top that they put me out?
Yeah, so I get what you're saying, and to some degree, I do hope what you're saying is accurate, because
I don't know. I'm just going off the cuff.
No. I'm on hopium right now. I hope what you're saying is accurate, because I don't want it to be that he just made some erratic, emotional, uncalculated decisions and just start blurting shit out in the most uncalculated way possible, and then the end result is that he is his $1 billion net worth, and then drop down his $6 billion net worth or whatever it was, and drop down to somewhere in the low 100 millions, and then he's just a regular rich dude, and which is still good. But that was just my hope that he was actually making a calculated move. So you did give a good lay out a good case, and you
want another angle? Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna go to Hood Servative before.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Let me mute up.
Yeah, go ahead, Hood Servative. You got it. Oh, hold on, wait. Before I go there, before I go to Hood Servative, yeah, that's what you sent me right there. the trans women out there is KOing them. Bow.
Yeah, Karen couldn't figure it out. Then it hit her square in the face. You do know that she is undefeated, right?
Of course. I was completely unaware of her record, but I knew that she was undefeated. I knew that. I knew that. But go ahead, Conservative. You got the floor.
Yeah, it's so interesting. You kind of get on me. You get on me a little bit about this, and then I'll take it in stride. But today is another one of those days where I see systemic white supremacy. Yeah. I mean, look. When a black man breaks the mold and says things that black men aren't supposed to say, it's white supremacy who smacks him down. When a black man becomes like, is Kanye like the first billionaire? I know he's probably the first black rapper billionaire. And when a black rapper billionaire says things that a black rapper billionaire shouldn't be saying, white supremacy shuts him down, takes his money. They're probably going to do some illegal maneuver, and Adidas probably going to try to steal his intellectual property. Next year, they're going to be selling Yeezys without Yeezy. And I'm just wondering, when do we get to call this white supremacy? Because I'm trying to hold my tongue, because there's so many things I'm trying to get my thoughts together for, because I want to do my own show on this. But bro, I'm so disappointed in all y'all fucking cowards, bro. All y'all pro-black coward, I see white supremacy everywhere ass niggas. Y'all got nothing to say. Bunch of bitches.
Who you really referring to?
The pro-black mob.
So are you talking about the people like Roland Martin, who got
all y'all
who will call out white supremacy when It could be an individual scuffle in the streets. He will see the between two citizens, two civilians. He'll see the white supremacy in that. But you're saying he won't call this out because most of the people involved are people who are probably more or less on the left. Is that what it is? Is that your general point?
I mean, it's not just that there are people on the left, and I mean, Bernard, you made me laugh earlier when I told you to put white in quotations, and then you was like, "Why would I put white in quote?" And then you read the next comment when he said the Jays aren't white, and then you went back and forth and like put the two comments and weighed them together and was like, "Oh, like yeah, bro."
Yeah,
You
I had to
realize when
remind
people
myself.
say,
I had to
"I'm
remind
sorry,"
myself that for probably the first 33 years of my life, Jews were white. That was like a recent development for me that, oh, so they're not white.
right.
so,
So
so
when
yeah.
we talk about the white left and white liberals and these liberal white women, we kind of separate them out of the group, but they kind of are the group. And
Hmm.
so it's just this weird game of doublespeak where you can't think about it straightly because you can't speak about it straight, so you can't even think about it straight. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I'm like calling out. We're the pro-blacks, a black man, a historic figure, right? A worldwide successful figure is being attacked by the forces of systemic white supremacy, and y'all just became quiet hoes. Y'all cheerleading that shit. And like I said, I'm gonna quiet down now. I'm gonna quiet down because I'm trying to keep my emotions in check. And then also too, like I want to do this on my own show so you can be blameless and not get splashback from things I may have to say.
Right on, right on. But no, it is an interesting dynamic. Kanye West wears a shirt, saying "White Lives Matter," and then I think their argument would be that we're not giving protection to a sellout. I think that would be their argument, but it's still an interesting development because you're telling me you're going to root for. I mean, per their argument, there's a power structure that 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 comes down on everything, and they do refer it as white. They first refer to it as white supremacy, and now that structure is coming down on somebody else. But the irony that I pointed out is that it's coming down on him partly, partly, well, at least at least it started with him saying "White Lives Matter." Like that article, I was reading one of the articles. Somebody was threatening to pull away or pulled away from him because he said "White Lives Matter." I was like, what
Right.
kind of white supremacy is this to where you say that white lives matter and then now they're pulling money off the table? It's like what kind of white.
And Bernard, heads up. I already like clipped that piece because I got to use that part earlier when you said earlier when you were like, so white people are going to punish Kanye for saying white lives matter. And then you kind of immediately pulled up my comment about put white in quotations. That whole thing was in like one sequence, and I clipped it already because it was a beautiful moment of the induced psychosis that's happening right here, where it's because you can't think about it straightly. Because you can't speak on it straightly. You can't think about it. You can't even conceive of what's actually happening here. And I'm like, bro, where are all the people? You would get mad at me for not joining the white supremacy campaign. Meanwhile, I'm like waving the red flag, like, bro, white supremacy. I got some, and nobody wants to come and march. Y'all some hoes, bro. Y'all some real hoes.
It's funny. It's funny that you're doing that, and it does sound real tongue in cheek. Like you're basically just calling the bluff or exposing the hypocrisy of the people that say one thing, they should be consistent on this. It sounds like that's more of where you're going with it. But Perfect Storm in the building says Bingo Hood Conservative is cooking. I tend to fall on this because I mean, even though it's some poetic irony in saying, hey, this is some white supremacy, but I still don't even want to get in on that. I mean, I agree with sort of with like what Jackie is saying right there. The elites are going to elite, and so they're gonna do they're gonna do what they do, and they're gonna try to win, and they're gonna try to maintain their winning. But it is an interesting development. It's a lot of different angles on this. There's a lot of different angles on this. But Dini in the building says the Jays are a mixed bag. There's Orthodox, Israel, etc., Oxanaxi, Jews, it's all kind of stuff going on. But anyway, I almost said Nazi. No, I said that word wrong, and it sounded like I said Nazi.
Ashkenazi.
Ashkenazi.
I mean, it's in the word, honestly. Like, you can't say Ashkenaz without saying the word. Now, I want you to consider that from the historical context, right? Like, you see how weird the connections get, like, or you become a crazy person, like, wow, I see all these invisible connections, and I'm not supposed to notice these things, but there's something. You said it before, man. There's something weird going on, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but you can't say Ashkenazi without saying Nazi.
Citizen Lou in the building. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
All right, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. And shout out to everybody who's been supporting the stream. Shout out to Deanie and Perfect Storm and Kevin C. I know I missed one. Shout out to Kevin C. He says, do you think what Kanye did is taking a stand? I don't know. I put that in the title, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if he just scattershotted a lot of his, stream of consciousness, or I don't know if it's just a random scattershot, or if it's a calculated move, or if it's just, I don't know. So I don't know. It's taking a stand. But I question. I don't know. You never know what's in Kanye's head. I mean, he does take the time to tell us, but it's so all over the place and scattershot. It's like you really don't know what the end goal and the end game is with Kanye. But Citizen Lou in the building. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
What's going on, man? Yeah, I was just gonna say, man, salute to everybody. But I was gonna say to David though, like, check this out. Yes, they are white, right? But have y'all seen that movie Bright with Will Smith with the elves and the orcs? Have y'all seen that movie?
Oh yeah.
No. I think this came up before, but
I was telling you about it. So I call them the elves, right?
The elves.
The elves. Yeah, exactly. We just call them the elves for code language like that. Yeah, they are white, but they're more elves than they are white, right? They have a unified doctrine. They have a religion. They band together. They stick together. If you look at like the top 13 billionaires, eight out of 13 are elves. You look at all the big tech companies, the CEOs, they're elves. The banks, pretty much everything that they run, the payment processing, they're all elves. So it's like, yeah, they're technically white, but they're not. You're not going to be on a platform.
That's not my point though. It's the hypocrisy of it all. It's the intentional lying. When people lie to you, the overall result is you become insane, not them. And so when they convince you that this thing is white, when we all understand it's something other than white, it only makes you crazy.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. We're on the same page then. But yeah. With Kanye, I don't think it's really a stand though. To be honest, I just think he got on Drink Champs. Was just he was drinking that hen dog. Mouth got a little loose. He just was talking, and then now it's just he
already started doing it before Drink Champs though, didn't he?
Now, so you talking about the White Lives Matter came out first, right?
I know the White Lives Matter came out, and then what would you say?
You said you're right. So the White Lives Matter shirts came out first, right? But then the comments came on Drink Champs, right?
You might be right. That may be the chronology. The first time he ever really started saying something about the elves or those that we don't speak of. It probably was on Drink Champs. So yeah.
Well, it was I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but I was just gonna say this because look, I get it. Yeah, he's saying what we all think, but like we already knew that though, Kanye. Like we already knew they run everything. We knew they run the record labels. We know that they tell y'all what to say. I mean, you just losing money now. It's like I don't understand what you thought was gonna happen. Like what you thought Negroes gonna get together and band with you? No, they didn't do it with Farrakhan. They didn't do it with MLK. They did. I mean, what you expect, Kanye? Now you just losing money now. Now you just looking crazy. It's just I don't what you said earlier, Bernard. We got to have more tact and strategy with stuff like this. You can't just blurt out stuff and be like, oh yeah, they running my stuff. They own our voice. They own black people's voices. Yeah, we know that. You're right, but You got to do something different, bro. You can't just go. You got to play chess. You can't play checkers, bro.
Well,
it just is what it is.
I disagree with Citizen Lou on this one. Shout out, Lou, man.
All
Good
right,
to see you,
real
man.
quick. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate everybody who's supporting the stream. As I said, scrolling down there at the bottom, like, subscribe, donate, share, live stream, all of that good stuff. But Jackie Jack is saying right there, the DeathCon 3 comment came first. So I guess that was more or less the teaser trailer before he went on Drink Champs. So there's that. But all right, well, go ahead, little big Nate. You got the floor.
Yeah, I'm the one that put the comment in the chat of the Ashkenazi. They're a tribe of Europeans that existed between the 7th and 11th century. And, they were like other Nordic tribes and other Slavic tribes throughout Europe, fighting, bloody interaction between themselves and other tribes. But they decided to adopt a religion. They had no religion, basically. They had the same religions as every of other tribes in Europe at the time.
Hold on, are you explaining what you would disagree with Citizen Lou on?
No, I'm gonna get into that in a second.
Okay, I was going to segue into it. Okay,
yes,
cool. I did want to make sure you responded to that, but okay, go ahead.
Oh, I will. Absolutely.
Okay.
So the Ashkenazi adopted around the 11th century Judaism as their religion. That's why when the minister said, "You're not the real J people," he was viciously attacked throughout the 80s and 90s. He was telling the truth. Sorry. Now, to speak to what Citizen Lou is saying, Kanye is.
Hold on, real quick, before you go and get into that. When he said that, you said the Ashkenazi Jews, you said they adopted it at a certain period in time where there were other people.
Black people, Ethiopians were Jews long before that, long before they adopted Judaism.
Okay. Yes. And so I know. So the Ashkenazi or whatever they call, they like are those basically that represent all the people that we look at now and refer to as Jewish.
Exactly. They are the descendants of those people. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, carry on.
Absolutely. Carry on. All right, so I disagree with Citizen Lou, who I usually agree with on whether or not Kanye is being strategic. Kanye's been talking this for years, but when he first started speaking about it, he said, these managers, these handlers, these people, management, just always trying to control, always trying to tell me what to do. He couldn't say who the people were. And then he met the minister, and like every Black elite level entertainment person that meets the minister, they end up learning things, or they end up becoming more courageous in the way they address things. It's just the truth. Y'all can take it or leave it. And Kanye is to the point where now it's time to say their names. I think he was absolutely strategic. He couldn't say it when he was worth $2 million. He decided to say it when he was worth $6 billion. That's strategy. Because now he has so much power, just like he said in Drink Champs, Adidas can't get rid of me now. I'm 68% of their online sales. They can't get rid of me. The company
they did get rid of him.
When did Adidas get rid of him?
Today.
This morning. And Bernard, when we spoke about this the other day, I said specifically, we all about to find out that $1 billion isn't enough.
Six.
No, yeah,
it's not enough, bro. It's not enough.
No, the calculation now is without the Adidas deal, he's worth $400 million. So he dropped like.
Oh, right. This is all news to me. I left the house at 7:30 this morning and got back. So
and Adidas owns all previous and future sales of any of his shoes. Only thing he kept was the designs.
They own previous. What do you mean previous?
Like all the previous designs.
They own Yeezys designs now, bro. That's what I was saying.
And future
do you know what he's walking away with? Do you know?
Not enough.
Only thing he has is the Yeezy trademark. They got all his designs.
Oh, that's worth a few billion, I would imagine. Okay, well, he made his move.
Depending on how he play it, if he could get somebody else, because I mean, listen, as far as I know, there isn't even an Adidas sign on his shoes. At least I don't know what his shoes look like, to tell you the truth. But the ones that I have seen on the internet, I don't even think it's an Adidas sign on them. So if he could, be like,
Indeed,
these are my shoes. I own Yeezys. That
No,
he
it's
could
on the
find
shoe.
somebody. He could find somebody else to mass produce the shit, or he can build his own infrastructure to mass produce the shit. So he can get some sweatshops in China to mass produce the shit. Everybody else do it. But anyway, so he might be good.
I got somebody I can compare him to.
Go ahead.
Donald Trump.
Okay.
The same people that are trying to destroy Kanye tried to destroy Donald Trump. Every time they try to destroy him, he gets more popular. I get more emails showing the growth of his PAC, Make America Great Again. He's winning 93% of his of the Republican primaries, where he sets a MAGA candidate against a Republican establishment candidate. He's winning 93% of the time. You could say Trump's losing. He ain't losing. He is winning. You don't win with money. You win with money and the people. Trump has some money, but he has the people. If Kanye plays it right, he'll have his money and he'll have the fucking people. He will win. He will win. Even if he dies in a plane crash, he's still going to win, because it's time now. And when something's time has come, the money of these people doesn't make a difference. It's time. Go ahead.
All right. Snazzy individual in the building says just a little support. Keep it up, brother. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Go ahead. Pablo, you got the floor. You got the mic.
Hey, man. How am I coming through? I'm on my crackly iPad.
No, you actually sound good. Just a little bit of background noise. Sound like the wind blowing. But other than that, you're good. Okay. It's not the crackling. The crackling is gone. This is another problem, but it's not as bad as the last one.
All right. So I've been seeing a lot about this, Kanye, on social media lately. So help me to understand. Is this some finger to the man? I'm independent. Telling the small-hatted people about themselves, and I'm, raising my fist in the air, kind of a thing.
No,
well,
I don't.
We kind of trying to figure it out. It's actually mixed reviews.
I can tell you what I
that.
think it is.
But go ahead. Yeah, everybody can just tell you what they think. That's what we was doing.
Okay. Go ahead. Tell me what you think.
Sure. I think there comes a point when the money's no longer enough. You want to be a man. You want to call your own shots. If you put 100% in something, you at least want to pull out close to 100% of it. And you.
So you think this might be his way of getting out of his?
You gotta let me finish. You can't be a man with another man calling you, telling you what to say and do. Oh, hey, Kanye, don't talk about this latest Trump controversy. Hey, Killer Mike, you keep quiet about what you see going on in politics right now. Hey, you don't talk about Russia and Ukraine unless I tell you what position to take. Maybe a man doesn't want to get those kind of phone calls anymore.
Well, I agree with that to a point. Because even when you're your own boss, there are limits to what you can do and say without turning off the customer as well. For example, when my dad owned a landscaping company, and these older ladies would, invite him into the house to, before they write him his check or whatever, he couldn't just, say whatever he want about a nitpicky old lady who had crazy idiosyncrasies and cats around, just because he was his own boss. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but for some reason,
different though.
For some reason, you just started crackling.
All right, so let me finish with this.
Yeah, wrap it up real quick.
Earlier in the year, there was a documentary on Netflix about Kanye, and in this documentary, it was well chronicled about his bipolar manic depressive disorder. And so I am not as quick to add any political and social significance to the things that he says
Yeah,
because Kanye is not well.
that's the general point that I was making, because you don't know if he's making some calculated move, or is this just part of his one of his many personalities, just throwing a bunch of shit against the wall. You really don't know. I hope that is calculated. I hope that Nick
believe it
Taylor is
is.
right. I hope that Nick Taylor and Lil Big Nate is right. But Nick Taylor, the way he put it, is that he was already trying to leave the deal because he didn't like some aspects of the business that was going on, but he forces them to kick him out. So if that's the case, but by them doing that, now he's going to be able to, do what he really want to do, and if he make it work out, and we looking at this, 2 years, 5 years. I mean, if you really watch those billionaires, they'll make one move and they'll go from being worth 1 billion to 5 billion in like a couple of months, it seems. But anyway, so if we look up 2 years from now when he worth 20 billion, then I'll be like, all right, good job, Kanye. But right now, I'm like, I don't know if this is just Kanye's little. I don't know if this is just a mental job he got going on. I don't know. But Charles Merchant in the building says, do the pro-blacks know what white supremacy owns that black? What? White supremacy?
The black
blacks?
fist.
Do black blacks know that white supremacy owns that black fist? Come on, man. I don't even know. All right.
What I would like folks to do is go study the history of Henry Ford. I put that in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
My man Hood Server would probably tell you a little bit about Henry Ford. He's the creator of Ford Motor Company. Is credited with
wrote a lot of books.
Yeah, did he? Well, he owned is this Patriarchy Strikes?
Yeah,
correct.
Oh, okay. Do you know that in 1919, he bought the Dearborn Independent. It was a newspaper in his own town.
Yep.
He wrote more than just books. He wrote articles every week about a particular group of people.
The international guy.
Yes, that too. He had a newspaper, and every week he wrote articles speaking to this subject in reference to a particular group of people. Every week.
They said the guy with the mustache was inspired by Henry Ford.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Now,
oh, go ahead.
What we have to understand about Kanye, we're not looking at the proper context. This is not just Kanye going through this. This has been going on for well over 100 years, ever since they started the NAACP. I said this the last time I was up here. They started the NAACP. There has been this relationship between this community and black celebrity and sports elites for well over 100 years now, and look, black people are not victims in this. We choose to sign up. We choose to sign these terrible goddamn contracts and deals. We are not victims. But when you see a consistent set of issues every single decade, it's the same story. They're the agents, the managers, the lawyers, everybody of that community, and the black talent. And usually the black talent is broke with nothing. The family gets nothing. The story of the Sopranos, Hesh. You remember this? You remember Hesh and the Sopranos, Bernard?
I remember the episode. Hold on a second. The episode he's talking about is the episode where they had Boheme or whatever, and he was going back and forth over a rap lyric or
no. It was no. I'll tell you exactly what it was.
Song. It was an old song.
It was not. It was this. There was an old lady that the rap label executive was friends with, and her son was a singer in one of Hesh's groups. Hesh took all the money, and the black mom was left with nothing. And the black rapper management guy wanted to tax Hesh for all the money he robbed from that black lady's son, who ended up dying a drug addict. Okay? Yeah. Again, no victimology here. If he decided to live his life that way, that's his fucking problem. But the fact of the matter is, this relationship is a problem. It should be a problem to any group of men who have this level of talent and abilities that they don't control them as much as possible. Of course, you got to divvy up the pie. Of course you do. But The man with the talent should be at the head and controlling. And that's what I can give LeBron credit for, to a certain extent. He has surrounded himself with high-level men similar to him. So that's my opinion on it.
All right, real quick, Jackie Jack in the building with another super chat. He says, I've never bought a pair of Yeezys before, but I will now if he goes somewhere else with them.
Yes, sir.
For the super chat, do appreciate that. And yeah,
oh, yes,
and I do, yeah, and I do hear you on that. I do hear you on that. But Patriarchy Strikes Back in the building. Go ahead, you got the floor, you got the mic.
I don't understand Kanye or why he chose to do what he did. But maybe there's something I just don't I don't understand the move. Maybe it's something that he'll clarify in time. But people have to realize the people that I blame for this is Donald Trump. I blame Donald Trump and I blame Republicans because when this tech stuff first started happening, they did nothing about it. And these Republicans who are going to win, these milquetoast fence sitters who still believe in, well, we're just all Americans and we're all together. They are some of the most tolerant people out there, and they won't strike back from this. They won't punish these corporations. They're controlled opposition. The Republicans, the GOP, they'll make you believe that they're against cancel culture, but they'll never do anything. They will never put any type of penalty. Let me finish. They will never put any type of penalty on. There should be a law against this. When you have multiple corporations that can come together and target a specific person and ruin that person financially, like that is, I will argue, and I've argued this before, we live in a time period now that is borderline 1940 segregation. When you have multiple big businesses who, number one, you squeeze out the small and medium businesses, so you're now more reliant upon big businesses than you've ever been. And for example, with Tate, when you get in trouble, Airbnb can cancel you, Uber can cancel you. The things that people need on a day-to-day basis can weed you out. And people can't live without those corporations. We've allowed them. We need a Teddy Roosevelt. And I don't think that we have that. I don't think that there is any real resistance to this. I think echo chambers are the future. I think that people need to stop debating their ideas with the opposite side. The opposite side has all the power, and the people that are, I would identify as right, have no power whatsoever. I think a lot of debate is theater. I think that the other side, for example, I'll just say the left, and we can even use the people that cancel Kanye. They don't debate and they don't talk. They do. They act. And we need people on the right who need to stop debating, like Ben Shapiro. Stop going out to these events, making yourself a walking duck. You need to wield power against them. Until Mark Zuckerberg is canceled, until the person from Twitter is canceled, until the people who are CEOs of these corporations, until they have to pay a cancel culture penalty for canceling people, then all of this is going to keep going on.
I can address that.
I got some pushback against the whole, stop debating. I think Ben Shapiro, him debating it is not going to make the people in the power seat with the money stop doing what they're doing, but it does convince the masses. Bullshit.
Let me tell you. Let me give you an example. Donald Trump won, and the masses can't beat this system right now.
I understand
Donald Trump won in 2016. Do you know why? Because the people around who loved him weren't out there talking. They weren't out there debating. They were quiet. Nobody expected it. It caught them by surprise. Then when Shapiro and all these other people started going out, getting into these debates on campus and all of that, started telling people their ideas, and then it started picking up steam, what happened? The elites jerry-rigged the system because they were like, okay, we can't get caught like this again. So that's when they jerry-rigged
his channel struck talking about a rig. You got to chill with that. They struck my channel twice.
So saying rigging? Okay, like I was just saying, okay, they changed the system. My mistake. I hope this goes to Patreon anyway, Bernard, to be honest with you. They can change the powers that be to alter everything. So that's what I'm saying. Nobody expected Trump to win in 2016 because Trump supporters weren't out there spreading their ideas with everybody.
Trump supporters wasn't out spreading their ideas, but I think it's a high probability that a lot of them was listening to Ben Shapiro and seeing him completely.
Ben Shapiro wasn't even pro-Trump.
It doesn't matter. Well, okay, I'm just using him for example. They were listening to media because most of the media is liberal, but most of it's more online leans more conservative. They were probably online listening to liberal ideas get dunked on in debate.
Exactly, Bernard.
And that, I think that changed their mind and that changed the vote. Now, this is where
You're
I agree with
dunking
you.
on them in debates. They're dunking on you by taking your bank account.
No,
I would rather
Hold on.
lose every debate and be able to take somebody's bank account because that's what wins. In wartime, you don't
Wait
debate.
a minute. Let me respond to that. I agree with you on this part. And I was about to say that before you even said what you said. I was about to say this. The people in power positions who are on the right, yes, they do need to use their money, power, and influence and pull with whatever levers they can to take whatever power they can. But then there's something that's where there's a form of power that revolves around influence and media influence. There's such thing as a propaganda war. People in media winning that war. It's a war that's fought on many fronts. That is one front of the war. That part of it. Now, you are right that the people who got power, influence, and position, who more so agree with people who are on the right, yeah, they need to grab their nuts and start dunking on people. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I'm not rhetorically, I mean making the moves and doing whatever they got to do, backhanded, underhanded, whatever they got to do to win on their front of the war, they need to do that. But as far as the media front of the war, we can't be sitting here on YouTube putting out our ideas and also saying we need to shut up and not put out our ideas.
I would say I didn't. Okay, what I'm telling you is this: I'm saying that at a certain point in time, we're done with words. I'll give you an example. I saw Alex Stein last night go to Penn State, and this girl spit on him. Okay, at a certain point in time, we're done with debating. At a certain point,
can I address
and let me just say this, and I got to go here, but cancel culture is more effective than evagelism. When they can cancel you, that is more effective than you going out and spreading.
Before cancel culture, it was evangelism on their end. They rallied the troops. They got the mob together.
It's called winning the hearts and minds.
They put the pitchfork and tiki torch in everybody's hand, and now they canceling people.
Okay, and
but
that's
you gotta win that war before you can get to the canceling war.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that my ideas in this are right. I'm just saying that I think that people on the right have to adopt a different strategy because what we're doing right now is not working. I just don't think it's working.
Can I address them real quick?
Right on. Well, go ahead. Well, you said patriarchy. If you got to run, you got to come on for a one-on-one, man. I love your ideas and the way you think, man. You got to come on.
I would love to work into that one-on-one too.
Yeah, but all right. Go ahead, Nate.
All right, to patriarchy speaks, man. I understand your frustration. I would also like to know how old you are, because that might help speak to the fervor and the need for blood is what I hear in your voice.
No, I don't have that. No, not
oh, okay, that's what I hear.
Don't be out here getting me watched by the agency.
Okay, but listen to me, bro. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'll put it in the back chat.
Okay, go ahead and put it in the back chat, bro. Okay. All right, so I would imagine you're a younger gentleman. What you have to understand is that you have to win over the hearts and minds. The reason why Trump was so effective is because he won over the hearts and minds. The reason why abortions have been reduced from the 1990s and 80s from over 1.6 million per year to just a little over 600,000 a year now is because of a protracted battle to win the hearts and minds of Americans on this issue. I know you young cats, you ready to just get in the streets. And I understand that because old men counsel and prepare young men for war. So, and not old niggas like, the old niggas that are telling you to, go back to, the Black Panther days and shit. I'm not talking about those old niggas, okay? I'm talking about the actual men that understand how this works. What he's doing is right. What Trump did is right. And I know you're saying that the people on the right aren't doing this. Bro, we are winning these small battles more than you can ever imagine. Say what you will about Ben Shapiro. He didn't support Trump, I don't believe. And, he's a member of that community of people we were referring to. But I kind of like the way he's doing with Daily Wire. He is fighting in his own way. He is creating an entire entertainment company to challenge Hollywood.
He's not. He's allowed to be there. Why hasn't he been canceled yet?
In his own way, I think there are some things from an intellectual standpoint that he don't like about Trump, because Trump, comes off like just like a reckless cowboy. And I think intellectually Ben Shapiro don't want to stand next to that, because then he have to explain Donald Trump's tweets at 2 a.m. So that's why he won't.
Shapiro's not the answer, bro.
Yeah, no, we're just using him as an example. But overall, even if he doesn't firmly say I support Trump, I think he's doing more for the Republican Party than a lot of people.
What does he do outside of play the victim, right? Like, what is it? I'm tired. No, not Donald Trump.
Shapiro.
No, Donald Trump is actually an aggressive person that takes action.
Okay.
What do people on the right do today outside of, well, you see what the left did? That's just so unfair. They did this, but they did this. I'm done with that. It's literally like if I'm in a conversation with somebody and they punch me in the face, and then I say, you see that, everybody? They just punched me in the face. That wasn't right. Okay, are you going to do something about it? Or are we just going to keep talking?
Well, let me tell you.
Well, I got to disagree about that thing with the big tech thing. Trump really didn't do anything. He actually waited. Like, he had the Senate. The Republicans had the Senate, and they could have reformed Section 230B.
Yeah, but he waited. He waited
to the last minute.
Yeah, he waited until he was on the way out. He could have okay, so let's just say, like I said, I hope this goes a page around. Let's just say Alex Jones. Okay, this is my problem with you, bro. This is loyalty, Trump. Alex Jones backed you, bro. When they went after him, you should have helped him.
And that happened in 2018.
Exactly. You should have done something about it then. And you did nothing. And all of his supporters, right? For example, like all of these guys on the right that were early in supporting Trump, Milo Yiannopoulos, all that, they were all banned in the beginning, and Trump did nothing. He didn't do anything.
Whoa, time out.
Until it was his turn to get banned.
Time out. What do you expect him to do, for God's sake?
He's running
a country, gentlemen.
Come on. Reform Section 230B.
That was all he had to do.
Okay, look, whoa. Let's get him to do that. Fine. But my God, he's got a country to run. He has COVID. He has other countries looking to manipulate.
Watch out. The C word.
Let's be serious.
All right, free speech is a part of the country, right?
Okay.
Yes,
but let me just say this. He knew, first off, if you had done something about, and like I said, this has the little page on. If you'd have done something about the tech, you wouldn't have had the C word. If you would have done something about big tech in 2018, you wouldn't have had it.
So let me get this straight.
It is the biggest, most powerful thing I've seen in my lifetime. I've never seen anything this powerful before, ever. It has true power. Kanye, conservatives, yeah, you can go out there and debate, but you don't have any institutional power at all. You don't control anything. You don't control the media. You don't control main universities. You don't control anything.
Yeah, you don't control PayPal. You don't control Coinbase. You don't control any of these payment processors.
Let me ask you, gentlemen, something that you're overlooking. When do presidents usually do the most radical aspects of their administration? In the second term, because
Biden's doing it right now. Biden did it in the first month.
Let me finish. Bruh, just talking over me is not going to defeat my point. My point is, if you look throughout American history, presidents do the most radical and difficult things when there's nothing else to lose, because there's no other terms for him to run for. That is how the history works. You want to ignore it? Ignore it. You're wrong if you do. If he would have had a second administration, he could have got a lot of that accomplished. You niggas are expecting him to do it on day one, and that's ridiculous. You're wrong.
Day 630. That's what I wanted to do, not day 1.
I just want to see. I don't see even
while
anybody.
he's dealing with COVID. Gotcha.
No, COVID wasn't in 2018.
Oh.
No, I know it wasn't in 2018, but he had to pass tax reform, and you also don't want to give him credit for facing a media where 96% of their stories were evil and dishonest.
Dude, the president is.
Okay, so hold on a second.
The president. Hold on, real quick. The executive producer of CNN was the same executive producer of The Apprentice. That was his homeboy.
But hold on a second.
It doesn't matter. He's a Republican now.
Well, hold on a second. You're telling me that the media did all these stories about him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do something about it.
He
like
did.
This is what I'm really.
He did. Yeah, he got on there. He got on there and he would cuss them out.
That ain't enough. Past policy.
You just said he did nothing. Now you're admitting he did something.
That's not cussing them.
Stop with the hyperbole, dog.
He won. The media won. Who won?
Bro, you're wrong on this.
I remember they used to, hold on, wait, real quick. I remember they used to accuse him of trying to do things to silence the media.
But he didn't do it. This is what
I think he was talking about trying to do it, and then it was the conversation about, free speech and all of that stuff. Like
his own vice president turned on him.
Agreed.
So
why did hold on, wait, Nate, real quick. I want to make sure we understand. Why did his vice president turn on him? Was it related to what I just said?
He was weak.
Because he didn't go with the whole
Nate, go ahead.
The reason Pence turned on him, Pence read the writing on the wall. If he wanted a future, the media will destroy most politicians, absolutely destroy them. Pence had to straddle the fence. I'm not making excuses for Pence, but Pence said, I can either stand with Donald Trump, who, rightfully had the election, and fight with him to the end, even though every media organization, including Fox News, is against me, saying nothing. There were no improprieties in the election. Or I can go ahead and bail on him and try and keep my goddamn political career. But that is cowardice.
Oh. Wait a minute, Nate. January 6th, it didn't matter what would happen. It was certified. The electoral votes are already counted. Nothing would have changed January 6th. If Pence would have said, I agree with you, nothing would have happened.
Well, there were tons of legal measures that could have been taken, tons that weren't.
Not January 6th.
I'm not talking about January 6th. I'm talking about before then.
Yeah.
And Pence did not do it out of fear.
You thought it was the strategic, it was self-preservation.
It was, exactly.
No, I'm saying, what could he have done?
Oh,
he could have stood by his president.
No. That's easy. No. What legal course of action could he have done? What could he have done?
Go listen to Dr. Turley. And this is also to challenge something else that Patriarchy Speaks said. Patriarchy Speaks is like, well, they're not doing anything. And the business model and no, there are conservatives out there that are building business models free from woke capitalist culture. Yeah. And one of those people is Dr. Steve Turley. He's building an entire infrastructure for conservatives to do their media, their entertainment, dating, you name it. There are people out there doing the work, bro.
I agree.
I'm talking about Pence.
I don't disagree with Nate. Nate, I don't disagree. I just am a little bit more.
I know you, bro.
I just don't really have the hope for the future like a lot of people have when it comes to what conservatives are doing, because I think liberals had a long-term plan and conservatives rested on their laurels. Like, this is why I hate the generation above me. I hate Generation X. I hate those people. Like, y'all did nothing while liberals was literally like, for example, the rainbow community, right? I hate to say this, but they earned everything they got because they literally started from nothing. They started from the underground. They went into all of these institutions. They got beat several times, for example, with the same-sex marriage ban in 2005, and they kept pushing, and it was a 60 to 70-year plan. And I think that for America to get anywhere where I would like it to be, number one, it would have to decline in its position in the world in order for us to get all these bad ideas out, right? And these big corporations out. And then number two, conservatives, this is going to take a very long time, like a very long time.
So, okay, but Patriarchy, if it's going to take a very long time, bro, why are you ready to get into the street and slit throats?
I didn't say I was ready. That never, bro. Why are you? I never said that,
bro.
I never said that. I never said that at all.
You said you're tired of the talking.
Hold on, wait.
Bro, you said you're tired of the talking, Patriarchy.
Okay, I do think right now conservatives, I do think they need to stop talking to the other side, because I think the other side is so radical now to where even if you're at work or at a job and you tell somebody what you believe, and it's not what it has to literally be like the spread of Christianity. Christianity in the beginning was underground. And I think that conservatism has to be underground right now. We have to stop debating and start planning. There's a difference between debating and planning. I think right now we have to plan amongst each other, and then from there, then that's when you can go out on the mainstream.
But patriarchy, I disagree with you in this sense, bro, because we can be planning underground while Ben Shapiro is crushing them in media, and Matt Walsh is making them look like fucking idiots.
Okay, I'm telling you this right now. Ben Shapiro, let's look at his success, right? His success came after Trump was elected, right? Like before Trump was elected, he was anti-Trump. He was, Democrats are the real people, he was pointing out hypocrisy.
I never heard that from him.
Okay,
to be honest with you.
Look at him versus Jesse Lee Peterson. Look at that. It's a great debate.
Oh my God, Jesse.
But the people who really were like making Trump like what he was in 2016, it was the people on 4chan. It was the people in these underground chat rooms and stuff like that. And not to say everything on there is good or that's something people should go to, but I'm saying that it was the underground people that were making Donald Trump. And nobody, the night in November in 2016, nobody ever thought he was going to win. The elites
No. There were pollsters that said Trump was going to win. Bro.
The elites did not think Trump was going
most
to
people
win.
had Trump losing. Most people had Trump.
And that's what I'm saying. They dropped their guard.
The people who listened to the elite leftist media thought he was going to lose. Trump knew he was going to win. Trump knew he had the numbers to win. Sorry, he did. His pollsters had numbers showing him winning.
Is that patriarchy strike? Hey, another thing too. I would dare say CNN also helped him win because they actually used him to go against other Republicans, and then he just kind of got into like a Frankenstein monster, and he just turned. And they couldn't control him anymore, and then I definitely think CNN also had a hand in creating Trump too.
Listen. I'm not saying, I just have a different approach. I'm not saying that my approach is correct. I just think that conservatives going forward with how the left has gone, because the Democrats aren't the Democrats anymore. Like when I was growing up, the people that are Democrat are nothing like they are right now. Like Obama in 2008 didn't believe in same-sex marriage. He was anti-war, all this. We're dealing with
he did.
When
he was a state senator, he was for same-sex marriage.
We know the whole stories too. Well, I want to get into that, right? But he said it publicly during like the Alan Keyes debate that he was against it, right?
Yes, sir.
So my thing is because he knew. Hold on a second. Because he knew that. Sorry, I just got a call. So because he knew that he couldn't do that. But right, I will say that when you're dealing with people that are this far left, right? I think you have to adopt a different strategy. I don't think that you can go out there and the funny thing about leftists is they'll even bait you into having a conversation with them so then they can use it to cancel you. When you're dealing with cancellation, that changes the conversation to me. If somebody's trying to take money from me or take my well-being from me, I'm over having a conversation with that person.
But can I show you some patriarchy?
Go ahead.
These large corporations that engage in this woke nonsense, Gillette in 2019 did it. They had to write down their market value $8 billion because of a terrible commercial and ad campaign. Disney, I believe, has lost 63.
We canceled their ass.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I may just be a little black-pilled, bro. I may not just be.
No, I understand. Let me finish.
Microwave generation, my friend.
Just let me finish real quick. Let me finish real quick. Disney, I believe, down $63 billion since all this grooming pedo weirdo shit that they're promoting.
Okay,
bro, we are having an effect. We are,
bro. Disney World,
and we gotta wait real quick. We got a sweet thing going here.
Don't forget about DeSantis punishing them.
Nate brought up situations where the right or conservatives have technically canceled people, but we don't even get the label cancel culture on it. You know what I mean? It's like that's actually a good position to, not the best position to be in, but it's definitely something to build on when, they don't call it cancel culture when conservatives do it. They only the left has that label as these evil canceling people.
Yeah.
When conservatives do it, it's more so taking a stand. It's viewed as taking a stand for what's right, you know.
Okay.
Tommy Lauren had to apologize within 24 hours because the conservative movement was going to destroy her.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what happens to feminists on our side. What happens to feminists over there? They get Stacey Abrams and they try to give them states to run.
Okay. So, but one of the things I want to touch on, and
But Disney isn't canceled.
okay, hold on a second. I really got
I
to
didn't
go
say it was canceled. I said they're hurt. They've been hurt.
One of the things I got to go here in a minute. But one of the things about Disney, right? DeSantis took money from them, right?
Okay.
And I want conservatives to hit like this is a battle here. Okay. And their battle is let's take their money, let's take their jobs, let's do all that. Conservatives, you are now we need to do the same. And DeSantis, for example, your whole thing with Disney, DeSantis did that. I want to see more of these corporations penalized for what they're doing. And the next time you all want to get together and decide to cancel somebody, like a Tate, for example, then I honestly think there should be a doxing law, right? Where if you dox somebody for something that they say online, then the person that doxed them and led to them getting fired or whatever, that person can sue you. In the company, then I want a law to where the company has to pay out, like if you're going to fire them based on a social media post, then the company has to pay that person out so much money. Like that's what I want to see, law and legislation and policy, not just, well, your economics are off, because that's hypocrisy. That's all I'm asking for.
No,
I don't see. You know, Disney's the #1 employer in Florida. I don't see what attacking Disney, how that helps.
Oh, hold on a second. No, DeSantis removed a lot of their tax benefits. DeSantis hit them where it hurt in Florida.
Right, and it also hits the people's 401ks in Florida too. Like the people who have stock in Disney and the people who are employed by Disney,
they should pull their money out. They should pull their money
That's
out.
not how 401ks really work. A lot of times, companies do it for them.
Well, no, you can do with your money. You can move your money in your. I'm in Vanguard 401k. I can move my money.
Yeah, but if it's down, why would you sell it now when it's down?
Look, it's about principle. If you got a problem with Disney, get out from under them. Is my point. As conservatives, we believe you do what you got to do with what's yours. You know what I'm saying? I mean, talking about hurting people's 401ks. I mean, this company is grooming children for terrible things in their future. And there's millions of examples of these children that's been done to. So maybe it's time to shut them down. You know, fuck Disney.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Clue Channel in the building says,
good stuff, Nate.
Peace, Patriarchy Strikes.
And put this on Patreon, bro, because I want to see you have a channel tomorrow.
Yeah, I am. But the Clue Channel in the building says PSB, that's Patriarchy Strikes Back, needs a TED Talk uncut. Absolutely. I don't think TED Talk does uncut TED Talks like anyway. That would be interesting. But anyway, Kareen in the building says Forbes just reported that Kanye lost his billionaire status. Damn, that's effed up if true.
And thank you for that piece at the end. If true, please keep that in mind.
No, it's true. I just told y'all they dropped him, and they own all his previous and future designs. Only thing he got is the easy trademark out of it. He's removed.
Well, I want to hear what he has to say. I'd like to hear what he has to say. We're hearing what the media say.
No, Adidas said they dropped him.
Okay, no.
It is reported that Adidas dropped him, but it is what's going to happen going forward in the future. Can they just rage on without no legal trouble making Yeezys without him?
Or is this something just for us and they're still working together? Dog, who knows?
No,
we're not. Yeah,
I ain't going there.
Now we can't believe anything. Yeah, we can't get.
No. I think we're very close to that point. Like what we can. I see what the media is saying and what Adidas is saying. I'd like to hear what he has to say. I think we should hear from all sides involved. You know.
Yeah. No, I do want to hear what he got to say on that. I do want to see the next move, and I am curious to what degree and to what extent can Adidas legally, effectively sell Yeezys without an attachment to Kanye. I'm very curious about that. I don't know if they can. I think it's more likely that Kanye will be able to move forward and sell it without Adidas At least that's what I'm hoping. At least that's what I'm hoping.
And you know, how powerful of a personality is he? We're about to see that too. Because if he has to, you know, he's talked about infrastructure. He's talked about his 100,000 square foot warehouses.
Oh,
sounds like the man's got everything in place to do what he might need to do just to be completely self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that
that
is the case. But all right, y'all, we're about to wrap this thing on up. It's going to be heading over to Patreon. But shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate each and every one of you. Everybody who supported, shared, liked, subscribed, and all of that stuff. We about to get up out of here, but like to thank everybody. And like I said earlier in the show, yeah, one of my shorts went viral. That's where all those new subs came from, and yeah, I was going to make a big production out of it and play the video and do like a little mini celebration party, but I got to get the hell up out of here. I'll talk about it some more later. But no, I am happy and excited about that video went viral. Got 1 million. I got a little short clip talking about the situation with 50 Cent and his son. Oh yeah, it got 1 million views.
Oh man,
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's what's up. You got to get them pre-records and them uploads is where it's
them pre-records.
I got to do that too, man.
Yeah, them shorts they get in the algorithm, and if you do them right, they do great things for you. But LB Crypto in the building says, "Believe nothing you hear and half of what you see."
Salute LB Crypto, man.
Shout out to LB Crypto, appreciate you. And so with that said, everyone, we are out of here. Peace. We gone.